The guaranteed offer is the simplest, least stressful way to sell your home. You go to our website, you fill out a quick form, we set an appointment, we bring you an all-cash offer. Literally, there's no lockbox on the front of your house, there's no showings, we pay all cash, we close in as little as 21 days, stress-free. We've helped thousands of homeowners just like you sell your home the hassle-free way with a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate.
.01, good morning from the Circus Sports at the Mint Kentucky Downs studio. I'm Lucas Panzica. A busy Monday kicked off the NFL News Week as two-time NFL Defensive Player of the Year Myles Garrett was dealt to the L.A. Rams in a blockbuster trade. In exchange, the Browns receive edge rusher Jared Verse, a 2027 first, a 2028 second, and a 2029 third. Another big trade became official Monday afternoon as the Patriots have acquired wide receiver A.J. Brown, sending the Eagles a 2028 first-round draft pick and a 2029 fifth-rounder. A.J. Brown reunites with Mike Vrabel in New England. The Lady Vol softball season came to an end on Monday, falling twice to Texas in the Women's College World Series semifinal. Texas moves on to face Texas Tech in the National Championship Series beginning tomorrow. The Stanley Cup final gets underway tonight in Raleigh. The Hurricanes hosting the Golden Knights for Game 1. Puck drop is at 7 p.m. For all your foundation repairs and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Well, the thing we've been talking about since February finally happened. Happened a little after 3:30, actually a little before 3:30 yesterday while 3HL was on the air. As Lucas mentioned in his update, it was an incredibly busy day in the NFL news cycle. A few more things to drop, I'm sure, as the next couple of days advance. But A.J. Brown is now officially with the New England Patriots, so it's a 2028 first-round pick and a fifth-rounder this upcoming draft in 2027 for A.J. Brown, who will turn 29 this month, at the end of this month. former Titans wide receiver, now with former Titans coach Mike Vrabel, along with several other former Titans players and coaches in New England. And the way that the deal went down, we talked about a first-round pick as far as compensation for A.J. Brown goes, and I think, I don't know, felt like we were kind of split. Lucas, you felt like it was justified. If I'm not mischaracterizing the conversation that we had yesterday, I felt like it could be a little much for where AJ is in his career and what he kind of comes with, but a 2028 first-round pick, that's a different story. It makes it, I think, a pretty fair deal for both sides, and we'll see how it works out. He immediately becomes the best wide receiver on the roster.
Easily. By a large margin, right? So now it's about how can the Patriots, put parts and pieces around A.J. Brown so that if he's eliminated from a game plan, things don't fall by the wayside here. I wonder who else emerges, because wasn't there talk of them shopping Kayshon Boutte?
Yeah. Yep. That's an active, ongoing situation. In fact, I don't think he was at OTAs, at least the first round of OTAs. I know some teams were late in the process. Some teams just got on the field for OTAs this week.
So why does that make sense for a team devoid of wide receiver talent that now has a bona fide number one in A.J. Brown, but to deal away a receiver that, if I'm not mistaken, had the best season of his career last year?
What's his contract situation? I'm not familiar off the top of my head. I can look it up.
He was a 6th-round pick.
By them?
Boutte?
Yeah.
Yeah,
out of LSU. He last year was not his best season. It was in terms of touchdowns, but he's been a 500-plus receiving yards player for the last 2 years.
Which is pretty stinking good for
That's
a 6th-round
For
pick.
a six-rounder? Yeah, you'll take that every time.
Well,
Every day of the week.
He was not 6th-round pick talent, though, right? The whole reason that he was a 6th-round pick was because of the gambling situation around him.
Yes. No, he was, if I'm not mistaken, he was like a 5-star coming out of high school. He was a big-time talent coming out, a big-time talent throughout his time at LSU, but the gambling stuff was definitely some baggage going into that draft.
Well, it makes sense because he's in a contract year.
Oh, Boutte is.
Yeah. So maybe they don't want to pay him.
He was the number 2 wide receiver in the country coming out of high school.
Yes.
Yeah. So big-time recruit, went to big-time college football program in LSU, and obviously had the gambling incidents around him, which impacted his draft status. He's only 24, and he's only making, $3 million? A little over $3 million this year, but he is probably going to want a new deal, I would imagine. And if you're not interested in keeping that player around for the long term, why not try and get something back for him at a time post-draft when most teams have kind of let the chips fall with the wide receiver room where they may. Do we think Stephon Diggs plays again? I keep seeing like these videos. When you start to see the videos of them working out individually, it kind of feels like it's over. But I don't know. I mean, he was good for them. Postseason didn't exactly go in a super favorable way. He wasn't a huge impact in the Super Bowl itself, but they don't get to the Super Bowl without Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, maybe that's something that takes shape around training camp. I don't know. I haven't seen an iota of information or rumor about Stephon Diggs playing football this year.
So we'll talk about this trade for Philadelphia because the Titans play Philly. As a matter of fact, the Eagles are here in week 2. So no Myles Garrett anymore on the schedule. Would have played the Browns in week 7. No A.J. Brown on the schedule anymore. Would have seen the Eagles in week 2, as I mentioned, at Nissan Stadium. Back-to-back home games to start the Titans season.
Nice.
A.J., yeah.
Who else can people trade away?
I mean, they kind of should get a little bit of they should just have a little bit of a softer landing this year, right? For as tough a road as they had to hoe last year in 2025, that schedule was diabolical for a team that was already
for a
going
last place
to be
team.
already going to be, battling to be competitive. They got their asses kicked right out the gate. So you understand why it snowballed the way that it did on a variety of different fronts. But A.J. Brown still under contract moving forward. The Eagles can now split his $43.45 million in dead money over the course of the next 2 seasons. 16.3 and 27.1 is how that split is going to come down. And he wasn't his best last year. We talked about this, but Lucas, your point was if that's the worst version of A.J. Brown, you'd still take it. He's 3 yards over 1,000, not as explosive, or at least he did not have the explosive play impact last year that he typically has. I don't know if they'll just completely rejuvenate him in New England. I don't know how that's going to go for him. I think it's going to be a science experiment.
Doesn't AJ feel like a grass is greener kind of guy?
You mean grass is not always greener? Or grass is greener?
Like, I think when AJ arrives somewhere, I feel like AJ had this pie in the sky, like, oh, if I could just play for a team like the Eagles. I know he wanted to extend here, but he gets to Philadelphia, and it's the dream scenario, right? And then it expires pretty quickly.
Yeah, but
after a couple of years, absolutely.
He was right.
Nothing but a success. Like the A.J. Brown tenure in Philly.
From his standpoint, that's a smashing success.
And the Eagles standpoint, right? You would do that trade again 10 times out of 10.
Yeah, you would do that trade again.
But it expires at some point, and now he and Jalen Hurts seem to be, drifting apart in his words.
Yes.
And now he wants to go back to play for Mike Vrabel. And it feels like A.J. Brown is a player that needs to be rejuvenated and needs to go now where the grass is greener to go play for Mike Vrabel. And who knows how long until that expires in New England. But I think if you can get 2 to 3 years of it before it does, then it's worth the draft compensation.
Isn't that most people, though?
I think it's pretty human nature. Sure.
Right? To consider, because you always want to have something that you're striving to achieve. I don't think most people want to get, and I'm not saying that staying in Tennessee would have been stuck in a rut, or staying in Philadelphia for A.J. Brown would have been stuck in a rut. Like he would have been successful, I think, just about anywhere he went, provided he had a reasonable quarterback situation. He now goes, this is inarguably the best quarterback situation of his career, with no slight to Ryan Tannehill. Ryan Tannehill probably...
Well, hold on. Like, I understand what you're saying, but Jalen Hurts has been a Super Bowl MVP, has had multiple Super Bowl MVP caliber performances.
Let me rephrase.
Like, let's not go ahead and crown Drake May like that.
Situation. Well, I mean, he was a couple of votes away from being crowned MVP last year, so I don't think we're that far off.
But we just saw A.J. Brown have a tenure in Philly that was a smashing success, where the chemistry was there with Jalen Hurts, and they had a couple seasons there where they were an elite tandem. So I would pause before saying it's a slam dunk best situation he's had at quarterback in his career.
Most talented.
Sure.
It's the most talented situation he's had at quarterback. Now, will it end up being the best? I mean, he's going to be the singular focus, the thing that made Philadelphia as effective. The thing that made Jalen Hurts a Super Bowl MVP is the fact that he has A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith and Saquon Barkley and the best offensive line you've ever seen. And I'm not taking a shot at Jalen Hurts there. I'm just saying that he was elevated significantly. You might argue he had would you not say that Jalen Hurts had the best situation of any quarterback in the NFL for the past, 4 years, 5 years?
Yeah. No, during that stretch, especially with Jason Kelce still in there and the offensive line at the peak of its powers. Yeah.
So, again, we'll talk more about Philadelphia later on, because this is a trade that has a pretty seismic impact. But for the Patriots, it's a deal that makes the most sense. And the fact that they got, I don't know, I don't want to say got away with, because if that's the value, who else was calling? There's no reporting around anybody else being interested in A.J. Brown.
I remember James Palmer, I think it was during an appearance on the Kay Adams show, throwing out the Jags, saying, hey, don't be surprised if somebody else jumps into the sweepstakes.
I feel like somebody else may have just brought up, what if the Rams did it pre-Myles Garrett?
It started with Patriots and it's ending with Patriots.
Yeah, what does that say about the market for A.J. Brown, that it just didn't seem to exist other than New England? Are there not other teams that would have benefited significantly from adding A.J. Brown for a 2028 first-round pick? I'm pretty surprised by that there was just no competing interests for A.J. Brown being available, and that New England basically just, I'm not saying they got to set their own terms, but it felt pretty comfortable that way. 615-737-1045 is the number if you want to jump in. People are concerned about our well-being. They're asking if the air conditioning is fixed in the studio. Everybody is...
the drama. The drama in this building.
How was your afternoon?
You folks would not survive 2 seconds in, 1952. When did air conditioning get invented?
I lived in Egypt for a period of my life. What are you talking about?
You lived in Egypt on an estate with a gardener. Don't act like you were out there slumming it. Get out of here with that, all right?
And a driver.
Go into it like an all-English, very privileged.
British international
Get out of here with
I got to talk about Egypt. Do you know anything about Guy Fawkes Day? I got to talk about Guy Fawkes Day on Fox the other day.
When did air conditioning get invented?
What's your guess?
I'm going to say 1960.
Would you classify air conditioning as modern AC or the first inclusion?
What's the first iteration of air conditioning look like? Like just a fan system in your house?
In the 1840s, Dr. John Gorey created a rudimentary machine that produced ice to cool hospital rooms, which eventually led to his 1851 ice machine patent. But the modern electric air conditioner was invented by Willis Carrier in 1902.
Wow.
1902.
That's correct. Window units in 1931. The first one being put in a residential unit was in 1914.
Okay.
So
I wonder
that
when
was-
it became like commonplace because like there was
Way off.
color TV, but it was a while before everybody had a TV in their room.
Yeah, I was just kind of basing
Or
it
a
off.
house.
The only concept I have for like that time period is like Mad Men.
But
Just trying to think of when Betty made Don Draper put the air conditioning in their house. I felt like it was the first season, like in the 50s.
It would be safe to say that people could have survived in 1954, though.
The drama about the AC yesterday, it was fine. It felt fine. My afternoon was lovely.
Yeah.
It was.
Because you slunk out of here as if that chicken tender whipped
It
your
did
house.
zap some energy for sure. And I was kind of waiting to pay for it the whole day, and it didn't happen. 10 out of 10.
Okay.
Would eat again.
Very good.
Shout out to Hattie B's Hot Chicken.
Would you do the eye patch again?
No. To be honest, the eye patch was more of a nuisance than
Why did
than
you
the
think
shut the
just
cluck up.
taking it off every commercial break was going to keep him from reminding you to wear the eye patch every commercial break?
I still
Just
have
hoping
it. If you'd like to put the blinders on for one
We'll
segment.
keep the eye patch in there as a punishment tool. 615-737-1045, the number if you want to jump in. People in the chat saying AC is still a foreign concept in Europe. People no ice in drinks, very European. AC not common.
Not really.
I thought Milan, isn't that what they're famous for?
Oh, I like that. That's good by you. I appreciate that.
No, it took you too long.
It did take me too long. It shouldn't. That's literally my team, but I like that. Thank you, Robert. Thank you for knowing who AC Milan is.
So that's not air conditioner Milan?
No, it's not.
Jay is in Colombia, not that Colombia.
No, the one just south of Nashville.
Yes.
I heard what you said. I'm more curious as to why or how you said it. You just said that A.J. Brown has a more, I guess, beneficial situation with Drake May than he had with Jalen Hurts. And then did you use the fact that Jalen Hurts had a good running back and an offensive line to negate his talent and his ability? I heard what you said. I appreciate your co-host there for pushing back in the moment, but what even brings you to that conclusion?
Yeah, Drake May is a more talented player at the quarterback position than Jalen Hurts is. Jalen Hurts is a playmaking quarterback who's obviously had a hugely successful career as a second-round pick. There's no question he's been elevated significantly by his circumstances. And, yeah, I do feel like you can have that conversation where you're talking about players. Who is the quarterback in the NFL that you most associate with doing the most with the least? Because for forever it was Tom Brady, right? Outside of like the Randy Moss year.
Yeah.
I don't know who that player is in the NFL, because I would also argue this of Brock Purdy. I don't know that I think Jalen Hurts' situation is beneficial, but not much more than Brock Purdy's.
See, I would argue against that because Brock Purdy has had the best left tackle in football his entire time. He's had a Hall of Famer at running back his entire time. He's had Brandon Ayuk.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
George Kittle.
It's the same. Like he and Jalen Hurts have a very similar situation.
Like he's saying Brock Purdy has been propped up by the situation.
Yeah.
I don't know if Jalen Hurts has been propped up by the situation.
I don't mean entirely propped up, elevated. There's a difference. I mean, I guess there's not much of a difference between propped up and elevated. Propped up sounds more derogatory. I think Jalen Hurts could have been a good player in a lot of different situations. I don't know if he becomes Super Bowl MVP without the best collection of offensive players on a single unit,
which is
that
why
we've
I think
seen in a couple of years.
Which is why it's crazy premature to say this is the best situation A.J. Brown has had.
No, and I revised that statement by saying Drake May is the most talented quarterback that A.J. Brown has ever played with. Is that a statement that we can all agree with? I think that Drake May is a more talented player than Ryan Tannehill or maybe Jalen Hurts.
I guess so. I feel like that's saying that is a way
And
to
like a half a season of Mariota.
Saying that is kind of a way to me to hide behind, saying he's better but hasn't proven it yet. Like that, you can think that Drake May is going to be a better quarterback.
They're pretty comparable. I mean, Jalen Hurts got to a Super Bowl, lost it the first time, won it the second time. I think Drake May could do something similar. Drake May just literally ran through the postseason the way that Jalen Hurts doesn't move like that anymore. I don't know how that game is going to age.
Didn't you literally predict the Patriots to miss the postseason like 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, that doesn't mean he can't still be a good player. There's plenty of good quarterbacks that don't make the postseason every year. 615-737-1045. I don't think it's that far of a stretch to say that Drake May is a more talented player at the quarterback position than Jalen Hurts is. Maybe Jalen Hurts, and not maybe, Jalen Hurts is a more skilled player right now. Drake May just got here. It's year 2. Or I guess year 3. We can get into this more from the Philly side. We can also get back to the Myles Garrett trade throughout the course of the show today. A huge NFL headlines day yesterday. Coming up next, though, which of all sport do you have the most confidence in? The Chaz Coleman thing really dominated yesterday's show. A very weird situation with I don't even want to call him a current Vols defensive lineman, but we'll get into that coming up next. We'll talk a little Vols here in just a second. Do we have things to give away at the end of the hour for Oh No?
Yes, I'm a pair of Rock the South tickets. 3-day concert going down in Decatur, Alabama, I believe, and it is a general admission for all 3 days.
You've got, what, Jason Aldean? Is Travis Tritt performing?
Zach Top, I believe.
Okay.
Big X the Plug.
Yep, Big X the Plug will be there.
Famously. 615-737-1045, the number for that at 1045. We'll give you the opportunity to win those tickets if you call us and tell us what in sports made you say, oh, no. You can call us right now and weigh in on what we've been talking about. Before we get into this Vols conversation, let's start with Adrian.
Never made it as a rise man. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, I'm here. Did y'all hear? Bert, did you hear it?
Never made it as a poor man stealing.
Hey, that's what I like to hear, my guy. TGG all the way, teddy bear gang. Hey, I just wanted to say I never thought in my life, Bert, but I would agree with you. But I've been saying for the past 5 years that Jalen, if you want to know what Tua would look like if he had with a strong arm, just look at Jalen Hurts. Not taking nothing away from Jalen Hurts' overall game, but if Cam Ward hadn't got hurt in the last game, just let this sink in. His 1 year in the league would have been better passing the ball than 3 out of the 5 years Jalen Hurts has been a starting quarterback in the NFL. So I agree with you. Hey, this is going to be A.J. Brown, best pure quarterback he's played with since he's been in the league. I just wanted to agree with you and say I've been saying it.
Okay, thank you for the call. We appreciate it. Most talented quarterback. I really didn't think that was that big of a stretch. And I'm not faulting Jalen Hurts for it. I think Jalen Hurts is one of the lucky ones. I mean, how much does geography matter in the way that these guys work out?
Yeah, it matters a lot.
Talk about this all the time. Like, Jalen Hurts shouldn't be faulted for landing in a beneficial spot. You hope the same for Ty Simpson. Like, if Ty Simpson becomes something in the NFL, didn't Sean McVay or Les Snead, I can't remember which Rams person was quoted yesterday, saying that they don't make that trade for Myles Garrett if they're not able to draft Ty Simpson in the first round this year. They set themselves up for the present and the future in one offseason. So if Ty Simpson works out, I'm not going to ding Ty Simpson for landing in a better spot. He's going to have as good a chance as anybody to succeed. I thought Jalen Hurts did too. Who was the starting quarterback when Jalen Hurts got drafted?
It was Wentz.
That's right. The end of Wentz. So, any more information as of today on Chaz Coleman?
Well, Ramon and Will had Austin Price of VolQuest on this morning. Robert, I'm not sure if we have this audio just yet.
Hold on. Let me do some configuring. Hold on 1 second, just very quickly. Hold
Beep,
on. Boop. Configure audio from Austin Price earlier in show.
Why are you holding the keyboard like that?
So people can hear me typing, so it sounds like I'm doing something. You're ruining the bit. Okay, I found it. Yes, I have it.
Okay, here's Austin Price on the latest with the Chaz Coleman drama.
It's a good bit.
He's still in the program. But, I know what Doug had on the show over the weekend. He's still in the program. But at the end of the day, this thing's headed to where Doug had it at, which is, not even, the chances of him being on this football team this fall are very, very small. And, it's trending towards it's a matter of if, or a matter of when, not if. And so we'll see. Again, he's still not been in there in the weight room or anything. He's met with Derek Owings, and both sides are kind of going through the motions and dotting I's and checking boxes and all that stuff. And again, I just don't think it's going to be a marriage that lasts much longer. But technically, he's still part of the program.
Okay, Austin Price on with Ramon and Will this morning.
Never wrong. Doug is never wrong. He is just early.
Mm-hmm.
Do not doubt Doug. All of these people out there, oh, he's lost it. Oh, he got this off Facebook. Wrong. Stop hating on Doug. You can check him every weekend.
Saturdays and Sundays.
Big Orange Sunday, Forklift Systems, Football Saturday. Say that 5 times fast. Doug's got good info.
Doug does. That's why he's the GOAT.
Yeah, so I am pretty much considering the Chaz Coleman era at Tennessee to be over. It sounds like they are pretty much arriving at that final place.
So let me play pop therapist for a second. And how does that make you feel?
So when I look at how difficult it will be to replace Chaz Coleman and what he would provide in the best case scenario for Tennessee, I feel like, and this may sound insane because when Tennessee lost Nico Iamaleava, there didn't feel like there was a clear path forward at quarterback. But Tennessee ultimately was able to replace Nico because there was a portal after spring practice. And it was a like-for-like swap. They bring in Joey Aguilar from UCLA. He ends up elevating the offense in a way that Nico did not the year prior. And to be honest, the Nico thing did not weigh Tennessee down on the football field in 2025, right? We can agree on that. The offense kind of went back to what Tennessee fans wanted to see, and it was the defense and a lack of complementary football all around, not the quarterback, that really weighed things down for Tennessee and led to an 8-4 season with the loss in the bowl game. Boo Carter, ultimately, the resolution was he'll continue to play football for Tennessee. He played, didn't make a big impact. We learned he was hitting the portal before the season even ended. But with Chaz Coleman, neither of those solutions are on the table, it seems. Doesn't look like he's going to play football for Tennessee like Boo Carter did. And you have no way to go find his replacement like Tennessee did after Nico. So there's an argument to me that of the 3 off-field drama situations within the last year and a half, this feels like the hardest one to bounce back from for Tennessee because there is no clear solution to replacing him. There are a lot of inexperienced players behind Chaz Coleman in that edge rushing core, and Jim Knowles is going to have to find a way to generate pressure this season on an otherwise, I think, talented and deep defense in the secondary where they made a ton of moves in the portal, easily the deepest linebacker room Josh Heupel has had in his time there. But now there's a big old red circle question mark around pass rusher. Who's going to sack the quarterback on Saturdays?
On top of the question mark that you already had coming in, and it sounds like it's going to end up being Faison Brandon's football team.
It feels like that's where it's trending, but obviously they haven't even started fall camp. Things can change. I mean, we're talking about a freshman and a redshirt freshman.
All that to say, I don't know what you thought your football season was going to be. I don't know what your football season is going to be. I imagine that this at least changes how you're thinking about things.
Yeah, I don't know how dramatically because I don't know what Chaz Coleman was going to do. Again, Coleman, it was all about projection. I mean, super talented player, 5-star portal prospect that you felt good about coming in here because Jim Knowles knew him and had worked with him at Penn State. So it wasn't about what Chaz Coleman did on the field last year at Penn State. He missed a lot of time. He had a concussion later in the year. He was just a talented freshman that showed flashes that was expected to elevate his game and hopefully get somewhere close to what his ceiling could be at Tennessee. Doesn't look like that's what's going to happen. There's just a lot of unknowns. Tennessee right now, per FanDuel Sportsbook, what do you think their over-under win total is?
7.5?
Yeah, 7.5. Which I don't think.
Who else is projected 7.5 in the SEC?
Oh, let me see here. Who else do you think would be if you had to?
Ooh, I will take South Carolina.
South Carolina, according to FanDuel, is 6.5. Oklahoma has a 7.5 win total.
Okay. What about what's Vandy?
Vandy's lower. Vandy is 5.5.
Okay. Well, Diego Pavia leaving. That's a significant drop off. Robert, you look like you had something.
No, yeah, I just had the list. I didn't know if you were.
We don't have to waste time.
And Florida has a 7.5.
That's
over under win total.
That's pretty generous. Though,
that is
for
pretty
Florida.
Generous. It is generous.
I've got Oklahoma and Ole Miss also at 7.5.
And Ole Miss, yes. Yeah.
Ole Miss should be higher than that though, with Chambliss coming back.
There's a lot of questions there. I mean, new offensive play caller. You lost a lot from last year. What does this look like in the Pete Golding era, not the Pete Golding kind of picking up the Lane Kiffin pieces mini era?
So are you good with that if you're a Vols fan? Like, are you prepared to have tempered expectations for a second straight season, understanding the circumstances? Because it was going to be complicated around the quarterback situation anyway, a little bit of a learning curve. And it sounds like you anticipated having some less than great pass rush situation for this first year of Jim Knowles beyond Chaz Coleman. Chaz Coleman obviously just amplifies or magnifies the problem.
It's easy for us to, in these conversations, set expectations and set certain bars and standards for a season, which is fine. And to say Tennessee's got to win at least 8 or 9 games this year is all well and good. But to me, it matters so much more how they get to that point, like how it happens, than straight up the results on the field. Like, I would be more concerned if Tennessee is able to scrap their way to 9-3 by running the ball well, by playing good defense, and Jim Knowles finds those solutions. But there are questions at quarterback.
They're hiding the quarterback.
And exactly. And neither quarterback really takes the reins. And maybe you eke out 9 wins on what's a really tough schedule, which would be an accomplishment if you're having bad quarterback play. But I'd feel better if Tennessee went 8-4 and had deficiencies in certain areas, but the quarterback showed a certain trajectory into next year.
Well, yes, I suppose that would be conventional thinking, and maybe just, watching Curt Cignetti at Indiana has reframed the way that I think about this. But theoretically, if this is not a viable quarterback solution moving forward, why wouldn't you just try to explore a better quarterback solution through the portal the way that you did this offseason?
Absolutely.
We just have to do it successfully.
You could do that.
I mean, would you like to know? Would you like to have the comfort and security of having a solution in-house and ascending property in-house the way that you've been trying to, that you thought Nico was going to be, right? Mm-hmm. That's the reason, or at least in part the reason, that the Nico stuff probably hurt a little more, because you're like, this is supposed to be our guy. This is supposed to be our guy to get us to, not just to the college football playoff, but take the next step and turn Tennessee back into a national championship contender. And it didn't happen that way. I don't know what the right answer is. The answer is you have to exploit every tool at your disposal. Yeah. Cignetti's doing it one way. Heupel's doing it another.
I mean, you're right. Like it used to be, if you tabbed your quarterback for the next 2 to 3 years and he just flopped, that set you back. And it took a while because you had to recruit another one and develop another one. That's not the case anymore. You can quickly hit the reset button and go swing big in the transfer portal. Or one of these 2 quarterbacks can take the reins and, yes, probably earn themselves more NIL dollars in the following year, but not as much as the $5 or $6 million you would have to go spend on an established quarterback, and you can use that money to spend elsewhere on the roster, maybe to fill the hole that Chaz Coleman appears he's going to leave open here at edge rusher. So, yes, there are ways out if you're not satisfied with your quarterback situation at the end of the year, but I want to see a Josh Heupel team go back-to-back years knowing who the quarterback is. Week 1 through the end of the season, and then another week 1 through the end of the season. I would like to see that ascension within the program, like we saw with Hendon Hooker when he took the reins early in that 2021 season and didn't look back and clearly elevated it in that 2022 season. Tennessee fans are ready to see that again in the Josh Heupel era. And if that's going to happen, it's got to be with Faison Brandon or George McIntyre. And like we said, feels like it's trending towards Faison Brandon. But right now, it's on Jim Knowles. And the good news, I guess, is you've got an established defensive coordinator that's done it at a very high level at multiple stops in multiple conferences to try and find these solutions, to try to find a way to get home, manufacture a pass rush without your most talented edge rusher, and really without any real experience at that spot. Joshua Josephs is out the door. Caleb Herring is out the door. Jordan Ross is out the door. He's now at LSU, and it seems to be enjoying life down in Baton Rouge, and they're very positive. There's a lot of buzz about what he can do for the Tigers this year. So it's a tall task for Jim Knowles, but that's why he's the highest paid defensive coordinator in the country.
615-737-1045. You call that number. You tell us what in sports made you say, oh, no, you win what, Robert?
2 general admission passes to Rock the South, June 11th through the 13th at the Fields in Decatur, Alabama. Rock the South features performances by Jason Aldean, Riley Green, Zach Top, Jesse Murph, Big X The Plug, Travis Tritt, and so many others. For more info or to purchase tickets, visit rockthesouth.com.
615-737-1045. If you want the chance to win those tickets, just call us and tell us what in sports made you say, oh, no.
This is a different court, Blair.
Same result, Slay.
Oh, okay, Blair. See, that's Tyler Tanner. See, Tyler Tanner's in the house now.
Let's see what you got. Jerry's out, Blair.
Blair, come on. Okay, Blair, just come sit down. Come on, Blair, stop. You're going to get hurt. Blair, get off the court. That's enough.
What's the verdict, Blair? The courtroom is where I play ball.
Boy, Durham, injury law. And that ain't got no roof.
Oh, no!
For the opportunity to win a pair of tickets to this upcoming country music festival in Decatur, Alabama, featuring Jason Aldean, Big X The Plug, Zach Top, Riley Green, Travis Tritt, so many others. 615-737-1045. the number, call in, and tell us what in sports made you say, oh no. So, I know the game is what in sports made you say, oh no, but this one, I feel, supersedes anything else that I could bring to the table in the world of sports. The two of you have seen this video. We all watched it together this morning, but you had seen it independent of the three of us watching it together, of Kathleen Thomas, who was issued a citation in Palm Beach County. Palm Beach County Sheriff pulled Kathleen Thomas over for allegedly using a phone with her right hand. So distracted driving, texting while driving. The officer says specifically when he pulls Kathleen over, I saw you texting with your right hand. Kathleen is an amputee. She does not have a right hand. It is a video that maybe you have seen. It has gone viral since then because she very quickly holds up. Is it crass or crude for me to call a nub on her right hand? I mean, that's what it is. She doesn't have a hand, so I'm not sure. She holds up her right limb that does not have a hand and says, are we done here? Because clearly you didn't see me do the thing that you're saying that I did. And it made me very much say, oh no.
The politically correct term is residual limb.
Residual limb.
Yes. So while residual limb is preferred in clinical and professional settings, in a broader amputee community, preferences vary. You could go with stump, which is widely used in that seems.
I'm not going to say stump.
Or you could
Stump
use
feels cold.
nub or nubbin, frequently used informal by amputees by themselves for a more lighthearted or approachable tone.
Okay, I'm not going to appropriate the terminology of an amputee. I'm going to say residual limb. She held up her right residual limb, which of course does not have a right hand. She was still issued a citation. It's just a ridiculous story. The video's wild. It's probably better as a visual bit, but this is an audio medium. I would suggest you go Google that. It's a very much oh no moment.
Apparently charges were dropped, but it was a wild story. My oh no is Jordan Adams, who is a former MLB player, spent time with the Angels, with the Orioles, and is set to become a college football player. On3 Sports is reporting that Jordan Adams has enrolled at SMU, and he plans to play football. At the age of 26, he was a first-round MLB draft pick and a four-star receiver prospect coming out of high school in 2018, chose the baseball path, where, again, he was drafted, ultimately played a couple of years in the majors, and now he wants to play college football, where he, if he continues on this path, will be a true freshman, turning 27 in mid-October. Now, I do say this slightly tongue-in-cheek because this is not a product of this day and age. Like, there is precedent for this in college football. Chris Winkie went the baseball route and then came back and won a Heisman for Florida State in his mid to late 20s. Brandon Weeden went the baseball route and famously didn't get drafted until he was like 28 years old out of Oklahoma State. So,
is he still the oldest drafted rookie, Brandon Weeden?
Gotta be. Who knows? That could change. That could absolutely change in the coming years. So it is a matter of principle, though. I feel like nobody born in the 90s should still be able to be a freshman at the college level in the year of our Lord 2026.
Robert?
I have a problem. I'm not allowed to venture out on my own and enjoy my own entertainment. I live with someone who likes to do things as an experience. She likes to do things together. My problem and her fatal flaw, she can't make it 15 minutes through a TV show. I tried to watch a movie with Cheyenne at the end of last week.
What movie?
Rounders. I had to watch it by myself.
I feel like Megan would also be bored by Rounders.
No, don't make excuses.
That's a boy movie.
Don't make excuses. Tried to watch Widow's Bay, the new show on Apple TV. It's like a horror comedy. It's like right up me and Cheyenne's alley. Last night, I was like, this is like really good. I'm really enjoying. Just sawing logs. I don't know what to do because if I watch it by myself, I'm the bad guy. Oh, you come home and watch this without me?
Okay, lie. Say you haven't watched it. Watch it, and then just go back and watch it. If it's good, it's okay.
I can't do that because I give away myself. I'm like, oh, I really like this scene because look at the light, how they frame the camera in the window. Like, I'm a cinephile. I do that to her all the time in movies and TV shows. And every time she's like, have you seen this before? Why did you know this was going to happen? I would tell on myself. I don't know a way to keep her awake other than buying like a shock collar for her.
Megan, it's the same deal with Megan.
Oh, see, I'm the reverse. I'm the one that'll fall asleep. Especially if, like, you're trying to watch a movie in bed, like, as soon as I lay down, it's over. It's not...
That's her excuse. It's like once a body in motion stays in motion, once her body goes to rest, her body is at rest.
Get her what's one of those?
A walking pad?
Yeah.
Are you, yeah, I'm sure that would go over well. Hey, baby, I bought you a walking pad so you don't sit your fat ass down and watch all these shows with me.
Happy birthday, baby.
How long have you been in a relationship?
Oh, I got to get her a birthday gift, too.
An insane thing to suggest.
Oh, I thought you wanted to look fit while we watched movies together, baby. I'm sorry.
Swimsuit season's coming up. Don't you want to get a little tighter?
No, baby, it's so you don't fall asleep.
Then I have to buy 2 of them, so I have to act like it was for me, too.
You know what? I make fun of him, but, like, I feel like we all, as a male society, I feel like we would all say something and mean it well, but just have no concept for the way that it lands on our significant other by suggesting, oh, no, this will be good. It'll keep you active while you're trying to... And then you start to say a sentence like "keep you active," and you're like, "Oh my God,
why do I need to be active? I'm active at day all day at work. What do you want from me?
I'm active keeping this house this house together, this family together."
Okay, you guys don't live with you don't live with your significant other,
famously.
But there is I don't know the word for this, but when your significant other cleans the house while you have been at work or doing whatever else you're doing, there is a certain penance that you have to pay for them cleaning the house. Part of that penance is, don't mess up the kitchen, I just cleaned this. Or don't do that, don't throw your laundry on the floor, I just did laundry. Or there is a penance you have to pay for any of those situations. And my penance is having to live with a sleepy jerk, I guess. I don't know what her problem is. Why don't you spend time with me? Me spending time with her. I woke up and you were gone. Where am I supposed to be?
These just turn into therapy sessions for you anymore. Is this what's going to happen when the two of you get married? You're gonna air your grievances, especially you.
We've been
I'm not worried about.
I've told this story. Me and Cheyenne have never not lived together while we were dating.
Yeah.
Like the first day she moved in, we were officially together. So, I mean, we've been married. It's the same.
615-737-1045. Let's rattle through a few of these. How about Jackson and Mount Juliet? All right, very good, Jackson. How about Braden and Chattanooga?
What's up, boys? I think the oh no for me is the men's national team only has 4 midfielders on their roster for the World Cup. So that's going to be tough, and we already kind of suck anyways. So anyway, thank you guys.
I mean, that just beat Senegal.
That's
a big win.
Very encouraging performance. It was a bit of a vibe switch Sunday. Very positive performance.
Remember to stay on hold for the chance to win tickets.
Is it not Senegal?
Senegal. Yeah, what did Buck say? Senegal.
It sounds like a bike you would ride.
Okay, but
I just got the new Senegal.
You say that I pronounce like the names of cities weird all the time, so I think I'm okay.
Braden is right. That was easily the most head-scratching part of the roster reveal. One injury in midfield, and the U.S. feels like it, I don't know, may have nowhere to turn. But
not good.
Yeah, but great performance on Sunday. Much needed.
Austin is in Springfield.
Hey, how's it going today, fellas?
Pretty good.
I enjoy the show, listen every day. I appreciate what y'all do. I just got 2 quick ones, man. So we got a cheater and a crybaby on the same team, the Patriots. Also, listening to Robert every day talk about Cheyenne while we're supposed to talk about sports. That's all I got. Appreciate you.
Thank you for the call.
Yeah, I hate her too, man. Can't stand her either.
Stop this.
I agree with him. I'm agreeing. I wish I didn't have to talk about her.
Who decided when we're supposed to talk about sports? Who decided what I'm supposed to talk about on a given day? Bucket. It's in his car.
Well, first off, Rounders is a phenomenal movie, so Cheyenne's wrong with that.
Yeah.
My no is for Arsenal and some of the photos from their parade, losing the Champions League and then supposed to celebrate the next day. Lucas, some of those pictures from that parade, it looks like they wanted to jump off the moving bus head first.
Wait, so Bucket, hold on, educate me. They held the parade celebrating the Premier League title the day after the Champions League final?
Correct.
Okay. Oh, that's brutal. Yeah, that's tough.
And Odegaard looked like he just had his puppy stepped on by an elephant. Like, it was a terrible, hilarious scene for me, of course.
Yeah.
I'm a United guy. But, yeah, watching Arsenal suffer brings me great joy.
I'm seeing this now. I mean, it's kind of crazy to do it the day after losing a heartbreaker in the Champions League final, but it is a huge achievement to win the Premier League, something they haven't done since 2004, and the streets of North London were slammed on Sunday. The scenes do look awesome, but it is tough. They fly back from Hungary after a heartbreaker and then have to do the parade.
I saw they were confiscating the jerseys of who's the team that they beat or that beat Arsenal.
PSG?
Yeah, so they were like confiscating PSG jerseys. They wouldn't let people wear them at the parade.
At the parade?
Did you see anything like that?
I did not see anything like that, but that makes sense. The parade was to celebrate the Premier League title that they won, and I guess they were hoping that it would all come together and they would be champions of Europe for the first time ever as well, and they could celebrate both. But that is tough to hold that parade a day after losing a final. But I think there is a theme of celebration for Arsenal fans. It's been an incredible year.
Corey is in Columbia, and then we'll wrap it up.
Hey guys, thank you for taking my call. So this isn't sports related, so you can disqualify me if you want to. But my wife and I were celebrating our 1-year wedding anniversary on Memorial Day, and we went to Myrtle Beach and had to cut our our anniversary trip short because she fell down the flight of stairs and broke her ankle and tore 2 tendons in her ankle.
Oh man!
Oh, that's awful.
How's she doing?
Yeah. She's doing a lot better. She had surgery on Thursday, so she's at home recovering. But
good Lord,
she was a little bummed that we had to cut our anniversary trip short by several days.
I feel like Corey should get the tickets. That's brutal.
Yeah, that sucks.
I'm not laughing. I'm not laughing at Corey or his poor wife's situation. Corey gets the tickets. That's horrendous. We hope you can have a makeup anniversary situation. My God. 615-737-1045. The second hour is next.
11:04, good morning from the Circus Sports at the Mint Kentucky Downs studio. I'm Lucas Panzica. A busy Monday kicked off the NFL News Week as two-time NFL Defensive Player of the Year Myles Garrett was dealt to the Rams in a blockbuster trade. In exchange, the Browns got edge rusher Jared Verse, a 2027 first, a 2028 second, and a 2029 third. Another big trade became official Monday afternoon. The Patriots have acquired A.J. Brown, sending the Eagles a 28 first-rounder and a 29 fifth-rounder. Brown reunites with Mike Vrabel in New England. The Lady Vol softball season came to an end yesterday, falling twice to Texas in the Women's College World Series semifinal. Texas will take on Texas Tech, who beat Alabama twice, and the National Championship Series begins tomorrow. Stanley Cup final gets underway tonight in Raleigh. The Hurricanes hosting the Golden Knights for Game 1. Puck drop is at 7. Meanwhile, the Predators' GM search continues on. The Tennessean reported this morning that the team has been granted permission to interview current Colorado Avalanche general manager Chris McFarland. For all your foundation repairs and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Second hour is upon us. Been a while since we've got a chance to visit with our buddy Nate Washington, former Titans wide receiver. He's got a book signing coming up Wednesday, June the 10th. Next Wednesday from 6 to 8 p.m. in Franklin, Tennessee. He's looking forward to being back in Tennessee and having a bunch of familiar faces around him. I think Keith Bullock is participating as well. Nate, good to see you, buddy.
What's up, Buck? How y'all doing? Lucas, how you doing, my guy? It's been a little minute, but hey, I'm glad to see you guys. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. It's always good to see you. I know you've really gotten a lot out of not just the process of writing the book. Nate, of course, Football Was My Father is the book. You can find it in the Amazon bookstore. There will be copies available at the book signing event that is taking place at Vintage Vine 100. That's 4051 Aspen Grove Drive in Franklin, Tennessee. Wednesday, June the 10th. I know it's been a super rewarding process for you to write the book and relive a lot of these memories and talk to a lot of different people involved in the way that you told your story, Nate. But like to go through and out into various communities, especially communities that you've been a part of with your story, to have people react to it with you personally, I'm sure that has to be a moving experience a lot of times.
Oh, man, it's been one of the greatest experiences that I've had after retiring, man, to be honest, besides watching my kids grow up. You know, obviously going into this situation, you have to be vulnerable, right? You're writing the book, you're telling a lot of details about your life, personal details about your life that a lot of people wouldn't know, you know? So obviously going into that initially, I was very scared, timid, and fear about, you know, judgment, what people may think and all those type of things. But I'm learning that these stories are inspiration and motivation for others. You know, a lot of people are going through a lot of different things, you know, and especially as you stated, to be able to go back to some of the areas that I was raised in and some of the areas that I have experience of and see the youth and the hope in their eyes and be inspired by the stories that I have to tell, knowing that we have very similar situations, but somehow, some way I've made it out. And not just to be inspirational on the athletic end, but to be inspirational of being able to be whatever you want to be, you know, being in a situation that you're in and creating your own outcome. And I think just seeing the hope in some of those kids' eyes, seeing the inspiration as they look back at me has been very gratifying. It's been definitely made it all worth it.
I want to hone in on something you just said there about, you know, being in so many words, self-conscious about sharing your story and having people get a different look at your life and the way that you came to be the person that you were. I don't think a lot of people would assume that Nate Washington or any former athlete, current or former athlete, deals with self-consciousness or a level of timidness or fear even in certain situations. That's incredibly humanizing, Nate, and I think that's important for people to hear, that no matter who you are and what you've accomplished, you can still have those moments, but also still get through those moments.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And I think that was also a key point of the situation, Buck. I mean, us as athletes, anybody in their position has a certain perception that I'm sure people look at them as, and being a performer athlete, I know that there was a lot of stigma about, my happiness and how I should be and making a lot of money and those type of things. And a lot of those things are irrelevant when you're dealing with the internal battles, self-doubt, the fear of what's coming tomorrow, making sure that you can still provide and do the things that you've been able to do for those that you love, and those type of situations were real for me. And in all honesty, I guess you could say it was a bit of fear because there was a certain point of life where I had a lot of insecurity about that person that I was. Was I able to still perceive this strong person on the outside that has no worries? But the reality of it was dealing with so many internal battles. So it was a hope for me to get through to the reader that no matter what the situation is, the position of life, the social status, the amount of money a person makes, everybody deals with their internal battles. And it's only one way to actually get back to a healthy living, and that's to be proud of yourself on every step that you take.
He's former Titans wide receiver Nate Washington. He's got a book signing coming up on Wednesday, June the 10th at Vintage Vine 100 in Franklin, Tennessee.
Yeah, and you can find the book on Amazon as well, right? NateWashington85.com. I saw you post last week, Nate, as you were doing a book signing, if I'm not mistaken, at your alma mater, Scott High School in Toledo, where a young man, you shared a cool moment with a young man that clearly resonated with a lot of your story. And after the fact that you had some nice words for him, I'd encourage anybody to go check that out. At NWash85 is Nate's Twitter account. What do you think is the thing that young people are resonating with the most? What do you think is moving people the most? Because clearly there's been a lot of responses like this when you go town to town and do these book signings and just communicate your story to people.
Well, I'm going to speak for myself personally. Growing up, in Toledo, Ohio, there was a number of athletes that made it to the professional level. We had Jim Jackson, we had Jeremy Lincoln, which is a Tennessee Vol, and we had Melvin Blunt, which played for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And while these guys were visible, I just don't know if I had the access to really see that was possible, right? And in those situations that I was in, and Scott, and growing throughout the inner city, during my grammar school time through Toledo, Ohio, and going through that process, I just didn't really see it being attainable. I was dealing with my immediate battles, making it through the gangs, making it out the house, not getting in trouble with my mom, trying to avoid early teenage pregnancy. Those things were real, coming from a situation that I was in, and trying to navigate those waters and those obstacles. It was very like an immediate battle for me. Like it didn't anything matter that was not immediate. And so my experience is coming back and actually being in their presence, in their environment, sharing my stories, telling them that, hey, listen, I'm not just telling you I'm just like you. I'm telling you that we are exactly the same. And this is why I see you. I see you sitting in this seat. I see where your hope lies. I see where your misunderstanding lies. I also see the things that you're not even concerned about that's coming your way. So a lot of those stories for them help them understand, like, wow, I didn't even understand that this was a possibility for me. And it instills so much hope. As you stated, Lucas, I've posted that story about that young man, and come to find out he was in foster home his entire life. So, being a young man, being in foster home, coming to Scott High School and just trying to get your grades and just trying to make sure you're home on time, you don't see the near future of you possibly being the top lawyer in Toledo, Ohio, or the probable doctor that everybody's running to, or the athlete that's made it out and become successful. You don't see those things. You just see making it through tomorrow. So those stories are kind of resonate with those young men, because I think it not only gives them a hope for making it through tomorrow, but a near future that's possible for them that can be very, very beneficial.
Football Was My Father, Wednesday, June 10th, the book signing. Keith Bullock, if I'm not mistaken, will be making an appearance as well, like we said. So switching gears a little bit to some of the news of the week in the NFL, Nate, considering your former position, A.J. Brown, who individually has been very open about the battles he's faced, certainly concerning mental health during his time when he was here with the Titans. He is shipped to New England, the place where it felt like he was going to be all along from the start of the offseason. Now it feels official, a first-round draft pick, part of the compensation, and he reunites with Mike Vrabel. What did you make of the whole A.J. Brown circumstance this past year in Philly and what you expect of him now with the Patriots?
Well, first of all, I think, we're dealing with A.J. Brown. We're dealing with a new generation of athlete, which is a healthy generation of athlete. They understand their mental health, obviously. And you can talk about talent, you can talk about work ethic all day, but when the mind's gone, everything else is going to follow. And I think it was an unfortunate situation where he just became unhappy in Philadelphia. I don't know whether it was a Jalen Hurts personal relationship. I don't know whether it's the relationship with Nick Sirianni, the front office. I couldn't tell you what it was, but it's obvious that he was unhappy. And in that, you still had a guy that was coming to work, doing his best to be, I guess, as much as less of a distraction as possible. But those things are going to be amplified when you're at A.J. Brown. And I think that's the situation he's in. So he was in Philadelphia. So you have a choice as an organization. Do you stick with the talent? The guy is going to continue to work his tail off, or do you give him your freedom and you move forward as an organization and build off the foundation that you have? And I think that was just the best opportunity for all parties involved. You give A.J. Brown an opportunity to continue his career mentally under a coach that he trusts and is in a situation that continues to aid in his situation of continuing to be the player that he wants to be. And you allow the Eagles to go on and flourish in the direction that they need to flourish. I think both parties get something out of this. I think A.J. gets obviously a new start. The Philly gets their fresh board with their guys that they have and the less distractions. And I think it all is going to work out in the end. I think at the end of the day, when you look at the situation, me personally, as being a receiver, I just think at the end of the day, when you look at A.J. Brown's career, despite the issues, you can talk about it with his personality, his attitude, and all those things. You get a guy that shows up to work. And I think, there's obviously always going to be plays that trolls and the commentators can pull up that might, contest that thought. But overall, you get a guy that works, lays on the field. And I think he's tremendous talent and obviously is going to boost that New England Patriots receivers room.
The thing I've never had any doubts with about AJ, Nate, is that he wants to be great, right? He does have some of those character quirks, those eccentricities, but at the end of the day, it's still a player who's striving to be the greatest or his best version of himself at a given point. But you bring up him and Mike Vrabel, and I think that's just such a fascinating science experiment this year, Nate, because Vrabel, having gone through the offseason that he just went through, I don't know what the dynamics of he and a locker room, an NFL locker room, are like after the situation that he's just gone through very, very publicly. But I imagine that the trust there that's developed with Mike Vrabel, a lot of the stuff that he preaches has just blown up in his face. I don't know what that looks like moving forward, not just for AJ, but for the 52 other guys and 16 other practice squad players. The Patriots are a weird team this year.
Yeah, man, I agree with you, Buck. I think at the end of the day, us as players, we're always going to have personal opinions about who we're dealing with as far as a head coach and which direction they're leading us in as men. But I think we also have a unique ability to understand and separate, business from personal. And at the end of the day, you understand as a ball player that despite your personal resonance against, your head coach, you have to go out there and do your job. So if he tells you to do a job and you don't do it and you're gone, you might be griping on the way out and tweeting about how his personal life has exploded and he can't stay faithful and all those things. But the reality of it is you're out the door. So we have to be able to separate the business from the personal. I think a lot of those guys in that locker room are going to go into it with a clear mind, understanding that, this is football. He's still here. So let's follow his lead and not question it. And that's what's going to take. It's going to take for them to get to the ultimate goal, which is the Lombardi.
How do you feel about Carnell Tate here in Tennessee now?
You almost made me cuss, man. I love it
too. I think I'm good with that. We got a dump button. We're good.
that was gonna hit.
Robert just made a face at me like, "Don't you tell him to cuss on the air."
Oh man, I freaking love it, man. He looks amazing. I was impressed at Ohio State. This is why I was such a pushback when the naysayers was talking about the reason why this guy was taken. He's a smooth route runner, obviously great with his hands. But I'm kind of on the same lines as the coach in Detroit. I can't even think of his name right now, but I'm tired of the PJ party. You know, when we get in the
Dan
pads,
Campbell.
yeah, Dan Campbell. You know, when we get in the pads and training camp, and I'm able to see, you know, his ability to still stay fluent, still be able to make his plays. I think, you know, still I will grow confidence in what we've done, but I'm excited, man. I think this guy will definitely help Cam in a major way, in this offense in a major way. I think this will be something that the Titans haven't had, honestly, since AJ has left, the playmaking ability. And in all honesty, with all due respect to those that have been there, you know, despite what their potential has been, it just hasn't shown or resonated on the field during the season. So I think this is the opportunity that the Titans have in the passing game to really have a true number one receiver that can go out there and solidify this offense as hopefully one of the best in the league.
Boy, and we really haven't gotten a chance to catch up with you. Nate Washington here with us. Nate hangs out with us during the course of football season with Brett Kern and Ben Jones, obviously. But we've given him some time to miss us a little bit. We've been bothering him for an entire football season, so we thought we'd give him a break. Of course, coming back to town for his book signing event on Wednesday, June the 10th. Dable coming in here to orchestrate this offense with Carnell Tate. They add Wan'Dale Robinson to that mix to come in here and alleviate, so just basically provide more answers to the offensive test. Nate, the amount of just relief valves that Cam seems to have out there already, understanding we're only in OTA practices, I just have to imagine, I'm not saying they're going to be the best offense in the world or anything like that. There just seems to be an ease of use here with the versatility, the number of different kinds of players that they've added to this offense to just make things more comfortable, more reliable for Cam Ward. Understanding he's still going to have protection issues this year.
Yeah, definitely going to still have those issues with the young. It's still crazy that those guys are still young. What isn't Peter in, like year 4 for him, maybe?
Yeah. Not young anymore. He's about second contract, Peter, now.
Yeah, well, they better pay him too, but that's another story. But I think this is the closest thing to a full toolbox that the Titans offense has had in a very long time. As you stated, they have very unique weapons on the outside. None of them are the same. I think you have different size matters. I think Alec will still be a valuable tool for this offense with his size and his ability to get in and out of his breaks. Those things will be beneficial. You have a two-headed monster in the backfield. You have a great tight end and Gunnar Helm still coming up and learning what his value would be in this league. So I think this is the closest thing to a full toolbox that they've had. And I think the possibilities are endless. Now, we talk about Coach Dable being there, and that's something also that they had. You know, with all due respect, the Coach Callahan being on his way out, you know, they told us he was the offensive guru, but we didn't see it outside of the talent he had with Joe Burrow, you know, and it didn't translate over into what he brought to the Titans organization. So when you're looking at an offensive mind and somebody that has been in different organizations, used different guys in different ways and allowed them to flourish with their unique talent, I think Coach Dable has that under his resume. I think he'll bring that to the Titans. I think he'll use each one of those tools for the best ability of what they're capable of doing. And I think this is probably the most potential that they've had as a unit moving forward through a season with the coaching staff that they've had in a very long time. And hopefully it all turns around. You know, I've been saying this, we've been saying this for quite some time, but it's time, but they put it on the field and it turns over into the regular season, hopefully turns into a playoff run.
Wednesday, June the 10th, okay? Vintage Vine 100, 4051 Aspen Grove Drive in Franklin, Tennessee. That's where you're going to want to be for the Nate Washington book signing event. The book, of course, Football Was My Father. You can hang out with Nate. You can hear more about the cool stories that are in the book. Keith Bullock also going to be in attendance for the event. Again, congratulations on the book, Nate. Obviously, we've been talking to you about it for months since you were able to publish it, but it's just a very cool thing to get you, to watch you go through this next phase of your career. And I know it means a lot to a lot of people, obviously, as you've seen, reaching back out to people in your various communities.
Well, man, I just want to tell you guys thank you. No media has been more supportive than you guys throughout this journey. I couldn't ask for a better support from you guys to allow me this platform to discuss my journey with my book. So I'm very appreciative. Hopefully, I'll run into y'all while I'm in Nashville. I'll be there for a couple of days. So maybe I can come in and do it in studio with you guys.
Hell yeah.
while
No,
I'm in.
listen, I just got in Robert's ear. I said, we're coming to the book signing event. We're going to make a mess. We'll try not to make too big of a mess, but we're coming to the book signing event.
I love it. I love it. I hope to see you guys soon, man. Thank you very much.
That's the main man, Nate Washington, there with us on 104.5 The Zone. What, are you not going to say it?
I said it to him in his ear.
No.
Nate knows I love him.
That's not how the bit works. You say it out loud.
I'll tell him in person at the book signing.
No, the rejection. We need the audience to hear the rejection.
Oh, you like me wallowing in the lack of love I receive back from people.
That's the bit. That's why we do it.
Well, I love you, Buck. There you go. That'll fill it.
We should go. We should go to the book signing event.
I'm down.
Fun. I think it'd be a great time.
Drat, we have prime time.
We could do it from there.
That's cool with me. Anything for Nate Dogg.
He always has, somebody pointed this out in the chat, and it's very true. Nate Washington, not just because we had it. Did you guys talk about the Celebration of Life thing for Mac?
Of course.
On Friday. It made me so happy to see a lot of people, obviously to be there, to hang out with so many great people and to share great memories and stuff like that. But just to see people that you haven't seen in a long time from different generations of Titans football and all this kind of stuff. So anytime I see Nate always has just the biggest damn smile on his face. And that is, it's energetic. It's contagious. And so it makes me very happy to see Nate and just proud of him for all the things that he's been able to accomplish. So, hell yeah, we're going to be out there to support him next Wednesday. We hope to see you there. We will continue to talk about the A.J. Brown trade a little later on in the show, but we do have 100 days to the 2026 NFL season. Robert, we've got predictions. We've got all manner of different things and a fun ESPN article to talk about coming up next. Tennessee Men's Clinic is here to help you throughout the course of the aging process. Happens to a lot of guys as you get up there in age. Your body starts to change. And if your energy's off and things aren't working like they used to, you're not alone. The Tennessee Men's Clinic, powered by Men's Pro, is here to help. What you'll like about them is that they've been doing this for years. They're not just the newest fly-by-night place or sketchy online pill. You're working with true medical providers. They run labs, build a plan around you, not some one-size-fits-all type of deal. They treat low performance, ED, weight loss, and even peptides like NAD+. Their treatments have worked for thousands of men, and most guys say they wish they would have come in sooner. Right now, your lab panel and consultation, just $99. So call them today at 615-208-9090. That's 615-208-9090, or book easily online at TennesseeMen'sClinic.com.
So we are 99 days away from the NFL season opening with the Seahawks and the Patriots, right? Super Bowl rematch in Seattle, where they will unveil the banner for the Seahawks Super Bowl title. And it'll be here before we know it. ESPN yesterday put out a 100 days preview with offseason buzz, bold predictions, position battles, rookies, key sophomores to look at. A lot to get into about the upcoming NFL season. Twice, the Titans were mentioned. I'm going to read you guys the categories, the sections of this article. You tell me which sections the Titans were mentioned in, assuming you don't already know. Offseason buzz, MVP race, bold predictions, best bets, position battles, rookies, key sophomores, fantasy sleepers, most improved teams, least improved teams, must-watch games, injury buzz, and final thoughts. Any of those jump out to you?
Okay. So, and you mentioned the Titans were mentioned 3 times?
Twice. Once, 2 times.
Key sophomores.
Correct. Cam Ward.
Yeah. Position battles?
No. What position battle would they be mentioned for?
I guess wide receiver is not really a position battle.
Yeah.
There's just a bunch of dudes in there that are going to play. Not must-watch games. I'm going to say fantasy implications?
Correct.
Really?
10 fantasy sleepers.
Who the hell?
You tell me.
Not Calvin Ridley.
Cam Ward. So Cam Ward is the mention in both of these.
Okay.
Matt Miller identified 5 2025 draft picks who he thinks can break out as sophomores in 2026. They are Jalen Walker, the edge out of Atlanta, Travis Hunter in Jacksonville, Will Johnson, the corner out of Arizona, Colston Loveland, the Bears tight end, and Cam Ward. He writes, film watchers will tell you that Ward played much better in 2025 than his numbers showed, especially when factoring in the poor supporting cast and scheme around him in Tennessee. Both should be better in 2026 with Brian Dable, with Wan'Dale Robinson, Carnell Tate. He says Ward had a 59.8 completion percentage, 31st out of 33 qualifying QBs, but he now has the infrastructure to be the playmaker we saw in college.
Colston Loveland's the best one of these players, or had the best rookie season of any of these players, right? I mean, that was a late bloomer type of situation for Chicago, but he was really, really helpful for them.
Travis Hunter was hurt, big chunk
Travis,
of the year.
He missed the second half of the season. Will Johnson was good.
Jalen Walker was fine, 5.5 sacks. He wasn't as good as James Pierce, but James Pierce obviously has other issues.
Okay, so yeah, I wouldn't call it like Colston Loveland couldn't stand to take a leap here, but probably the better one of those players out of any of the 5 that were mentioned.
Well, he has a little bit of room to operate now with DJ Moore out. I think he's not listed in this, but I think that's a reason that Luther Burden is going a lot higher in fantasy drafts than people would expect him to, because his barrier of entry is also lessened.
Yes. And now the fantasy sleepers. Eric Moody, a fantasy football writer for ESPN, picked 10 non-rookies who could dominate for your team this season. The first name mentioned is Cam Ward. He writes, Ward's rookie season was underwhelming, but his future looks brighter after Tennessee's offseason moves. He showed some late-season growth, scoring at least 15 fantasy points in 3 consecutive games from weeks 15 to 17. So not going with a skill player on the Titans. Again, this is non-rookie, so Carnell Tate would be out of it, but he goes with Cam Ward.
Okay, you two tell me. He doesn't, he scrambles, but he doesn't gain yardage really on the ground unless you kind of make him, for lack of a better term.
I thought that was interesting. I don't look at Cam from a fantasy football perspective like that.
That's what I'm saying.
For what it's worth, he mentions 2 other quarterbacks in Kyler Murray and Tyler Shuck as fantasy sleepers.
The reason I think Cam would fall into a sleeper is the fact is he's not a top 10 player at the position and you would be able to get him later in the draft. Another reason that's high, you're right, he doesn't scramble. And in the years of Lamar Jackson, Justin Herbert, Jalen Hurts, all of those guys that get the extra points from the rushing yards, what Cam's superpower was, in the second half of the season, he turned the ball over very little. So you weren't getting negative points to his score. He was getting a very average score, as he noted, 15 points or more. 15 is about where you would like your QB2 to score, but if it's a QB1 season, you'd like him to be around 20 points a game. But Cam's a nice option because you would imagine he would get a high volume throwing game where they're probably going to be trailing in a lot of these games. He's going to get an opportunity to score late. I like him as a sleeper, but I wouldn't say he's going to be a league winner. I don't think that's what he's trying to say.
Well, and he plays, right? I mean, he's available every week. Obviously, Cam Ward had we call it a season-ending shoulder surgery or shoulder injury. He didn't have surgery because it was literally the last game of the season, and you were not going to put him back out there with a sprained AC joint against the Jags in a game that you were already long eliminated from postseason contention. So, okay.
For what it's worth, Chig Okonkwo also makes this list of the 10 fantasy sleepers. He's the last name there. He writes, Okonkwo has a clear path to targets as the likely replacement for Zach Ertz.
Okay.
In Washington.
This may be an exercise that we could do on a slower news day. The Titans that ended up leaving here that we think are going to have the best chance to do something in another spot. Because Chig would probably be on the leaderboard, if not the number one pick in that category. 615-737-1045. The number, if you want to participate, is Aaron Donald coming back since the Rams traded for Myles Garrett yesterday. You'll hear some audio from a former teammate of Donald's coming up next. Welcome back to the show, fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken, the best hot chicken in the world. Every one of their Middle Tennessee locations is open as of 11 a.m. Central Time. So make sure you get your orders in with lunch soon upon us for the best hot chicken in the world. 615-737-1045, the number. All right, Robert, where did you find this Michael Brockers audio? Because of all the different athletes doing podcasts and obscure corners of the internet, a Michael Brockers podcast appearance is not what I thought we'd be playing on the radio show today.
So we're not going to play it, remember, because he just rambles and says something. We're going to say what he says. The audio we're going to play is from Cam Hayward's show, Not Just Football, I believe, where he interviewed Aaron Donald maybe 3 weeks ago. But the Michael Brockers audio you're talking about, I saw because Ramon Foster retweeted it this morning. It's from the Locked on Rams podcast, where Michael Brockers says, hey, I know something, and I was told this, and he drags it out for like a minute and a half, and then he finally says, Aaron Donald is staying ready, so he doesn't have to get ready.
Now, why would Aaron Donald contemplate a return? Well, because the Rams just made a ridiculous trade to acquire Myles Garrett in exchange for Jared Verse and draft picks yesterday with the Cleveland Browns. This is Aaron Donald a couple of weeks ago on the aforementioned Cam Hayward podcast, taking a much different tone than everybody else seems to want to take around the situation.
Even when people ask me all the time, like, you sure you don't want to play? I'd be like, to be honest with you, I have no urge to play football no more.
That's good.
Sometimes in the back of my head, I'd be like, do I want to go out there? I think about this, and I'm like, nah, man. I'm like, I was a guy that never wanted to play forever, but I always said I was going to do 8 years and be done. I just happened to win the Super Bowl my 8th year. I'm like, man, this is destiny. And then, but it's kind of addictive to, like, you can't just win a Super Bowl and walk away. It's like you want to experience that again. So
yeah,
I wasn't fully done. I still had that. I wanted to experience that again.
I know Sean calls you every year and is like,
I'm gonna say the first 2 years they would still be talking. They talk about it, but it kind of quieted down because he kind of know where I'm at. That's my guy. We hang, we talk. So he kind of know where I'm at with it.
So it's been almost 3 years since he's played, Aaron Donald. And I remember, I'm sure this is a common phrase among professional athletes, but I remember Brian Arakpo specifically here talking about once you start thinking about retiring as a pro football player, you're basically retired. Like once that gets into your head and you don't have it in you to do the training camps and the grind, the routine, the rest, the recovery, the rehab for injuries, all these different things, you might as well retire at that point. And Aaron Donald has been retired for a period of time. Now, do you guys remember when, and this is a very different situation, do you remember when Richie Incognito retired from football and came back? He was, a problematic figure on a number of fronts, but he was a very effective player for the Buffalo Bills, retired after the whole Bullygate situation.
With Jonathan Martin.
Yep, Jonathan Martin.
Which he later came out and said was not true. All of it was fabricated.
Martin did.
Yes.
Yes. Well, Richie Incognito was on tape saying some very not safe for work things. But Incognito came back for the Raiders a couple of years after the whole Bullygate thing and played some of his best football. If I'm not mistaken, Richie Incognito ended up being like an all-pro a couple of times after he came back after a year off. Was it more than a year off?
No, he spent 2014 out of the league.
Yep.
And came back in 2015, played for the Bills for 3 years.
That's right.
And was a Pro Bowler all 3 of those years.
Because he was with the Dolphins, then went to the Bills.
And then took 2 years off. His last year in Buffalo was 2017. He took 2018 off, came back in 2019 to play for the Raiders and started 12 games for them, and then played the following year and only played in 2 games.
But
so he
Bills
took 2 breaks of multiple seasons.
But the Bills version of him was the revitalized version of him. He played some of his best football during
3
that
Pro
stretch.
Bowls during that stretch.
Okay,
he made a
that's
Pro
what I'm
Bowl
thinking of.
every season he was in Buffalo.
So if you're an offensive lineman and you take time away from football, there's reason to believe that your body, while you may lose some of your athleticism, some of your speed, all the things that happen when you get older, there's reason to believe that you might be in the best shape you've ever been because you're just not getting into a car wreck every play for consecutive year after year after year after year. Maybe the same is true of Aaron Donald. I don't know how far removed he has to be from football to no longer be an approximation of the player that we remember. But I imagine that 2.5 years off for a defensive lineman is not like some kind of career death sentence for somebody like that.
Do we have precedent at that position?
At that position? I mean, the longevity of Calais Campbell on the defensive line is something I don't think we will ever see again. The dude is an ageless wonder.
Yeah. Well, I'm not talking about longevity. I'm talking about precedent for somebody being on the sideline, being retired for multiple years at that position.
Multiple years, maybe not. But Brandon Graham did retire and come back with the Eagles.
I don't know if y'all saw Trey Wingo on this.
No.
He tweeted yesterday, and which I don't know who he's working for at this point. Trey Wingo,
he's just doing his own thing now.
Formerly of ESPN, the Wingo Network. Yeah, he tweeted yesterday that picture of Aaron Donald next to Myles Garrett in Rams uniforms. You know, it's an NFL on ESPN tweet. Imagine if Aaron Donald came out of retirement. Trey Wingo quoted it and said, "Let's just say that's more than just imagination. All I can tell you right now."
Okay, so is somebody going to actually say something around this, or are we all just going to do the Jordan
bunch
Schultz
of eyeball emojis?
Eyeball emojis.
Yeah. Maybe, but I can't say anything.
Those are my least favorite kind of comments or tweets. Okay, I understand. You may, and I'm sure Trey Wingo and Michael Brockers have heard something, and do have people. I mean, Michael Brockers did play with Aaron Donald, so I'm sure that he has at least talked to Aaron Donald in some form or fashion.
So the players that have spent the longest amount of time on a hiatus from the NFL and then return to play.
Rivers
is the most with 5 seasons. And then a Hall of Fame running back, Bronco Nagurski?
Oh, Nagurski,
there you go. Retired in 1937, but returned to the Chicago Bears 6 seasons later in 1943 to help the team after he was deployed in World War II. More modern examples, Ricky Williams spent the 2004 and the 2006 season away before ultimately returning to the Dolphins in 2005 and then left again. Deion Sanders was retired for 2001, 2, and 3, and then returned to play in Baltimore for 2 seasons.
So really not in this century.
And not a defensive lineman.
Not a defensive lineman.
Yeah. And I believe Aaron Donald, we just heard him say he has had no urge to come back to playing football. I 1,000% believe him. But if there is anything that would make you just take a pause to think about it, it would be one of the greatest game wreckers, maybe the best athlete we've ever seen play the position, joining the LA Rams. How many first-team All-Pros would be on the Rams D-line if Aaron Donald came out of retirement?
Oh, my God.
He has 8 alone.
They may have more than the rest of the league combined.
Garrett has 5. 13. First team, not even second team.
Yeah.
Aaron Donald, by the way, doesn't have a second-team All-Pro because he just made first team every year.
He's just a rock star. And that's the thing. Like, he wouldn't even have to play that much. They've got depth. That's why the Garrett thing makes sense now. Like, they've got horsepower up front to make Myles Garrett the best version of himself, even without Jared Verse, because Braden Fisk is still there.
Braden Fisk, Byron Young off the edge.
Kobe Turner, we've talked about.
And they're going to play with leads, too. And Myles Garrett's going to have the opportunity to wreck games in a way that he just hasn't with the Browns. He's not had that opportunity to play on a legit contender like that. When the Rams are up by 7 near the end of the fourth quarter, it's going to be Myles Garrett time. Like the situation could not be better. Could not be better.
Maybe. Even if it's just for like the playoffs, Aaron Donald, just think about it.
35 years old.
That's definitely the age where you'd be like, I don't want to do this. That would be the tipping point, it feels like.
It's been about 3 years.
A.J. Brown has been traded, obviously, from the Philadelphia Eagles to the New England Patriots. We've talked about the Patriots quite a bit because there's a bunch of former Titans running around up there, including now A.J. But what does it mean for Philadelphia? We'll get into that coming up next.
11:59 coming up on 12 o'clock. Good afternoon from the Circa Sports at the Mint Kentucky Downs studio. I'm Lucas Panzica. A big Monday kicked off the NFL News Week as two-time NFL Defensive Player of the Year Myles Garrett was dealt to the Rams in a blockbuster deal. In exchange, the Cleveland Browns receive edge rusher Jared Verse, a 2027 first-rounder, a 2028 second-rounder, and a 2029 third-round pick. Another big trade became official Monday afternoon as the Patriots have acquired wide receiver A.J. Brown, sending the Eagles a 2028 first-rounder and a 2029 fifth. Brown, of course, reunites with Mike Vrabel in New England. The Stanley Cup Final gets underway tonight in Raleigh. The Hurricanes will host the Golden Knights for Game 1. Puck drop is at 7. And meanwhile, the Predators' GM search continues. The Tennessean reporting this morning that the team has been granted permission to interview current Colorado Avalanche general manager Chris McFarland. For all your foundation repairs and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
We know that A.J. Brown has been traded from Philadelphia to New England, but we've talked a great deal about the Patriots. Patriots have a lot of Titans connections. Obviously, we would spend some time there. We feel like there's enough closure for Titans fans with A.J., right? I mean, he has been in Philly longer than he was in Tennessee.
It was 2 head coaches ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
Multiple GMs ago.
Well, I only bring it up because I saw the headline from the Tennessean. I've got the Tennessean app on my phone, and they sent a push notification yesterday at 3:30 that said, "The nightmare is official, Titans fans. A.J. Brown, Mike Vrabel reunite in New England after trade." And I thought that's like a headline that I'd come up with. Who's the nightmare is official?
I
Titans
guess
and Patriots don't play next year.
Yeah, I guess there are Titans fans that can continue to get caught up in that stuff, but I think everybody's been in a position to move on for a while now.
Yeah, it's the first time this is the first season that I've really felt like, okay, like there are really no more connections to any of those guys anymore. Like even Derrick Henry it's not no more connections, but you understand what I mean. Like it's just not visceral anymore.
Yeah. I mean, what links are there to that era even? Jeff, Amani Hooker. Is that the list?
Morgan Cox.
When did Morgan Cox get here?
End of Vrabel.
Very end of Vrabel. Okay, so barely Morgan Cox. The way I see it, too, is if you're a Titans fan, obviously Cam Ward is optimism personified. He is the centerpiece for your optimism for this next phase of Titans history.
Yep.
I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think there's any chance Cam Ward or any number 1 overall draft pick quarterback is on your roster if Mike Vrabel's still your head coach. Right?
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea.
Like, I don't think...
It's kind of like the Mike Tomlin theory, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like, and part of that is a credit to Vrabel, but I don't think the Titans are bottoming out at any point enough to get a Cam Ward if Mike Vrabel is still the head coach.
Yeah, it's just, I guess, and not to get back into the philosophical conversation of it all, but it's just like, do you have to do that? Do you have to bottom out to get back to the mountaintop? But it's done, right? All these things, the dominoes have fallen where they've fallen, and now Mike Vrabel and A.J. Brown are both New England Patriots. Philadelphia, though, I don't feel like anybody's talking about what this means for Philly. Do they just continue to be the division favorites without AJ? I know he wasn't great last year, but I feel like a lot of stuff has to change when you lose that kind of a player in your offense. And it's not just because your offense is going to change anyway under yet another new offensive coordinator for Philadelphia. They cycle through them at an incredibly rapid rate. But with Devontae Smith, Saquon Barkley still there, they've made a number of different acquisitions this offseason as far as the wide receivers go. I haven't looked at the Eagles draft in a while, actually, off the top of my head. I'm sure they did fine wherever they were slated. But I don't know that I would favor Philadelphia in the division, not just because AJ, but because of all the weirdness and they're losing AJ. I don't think they're a better team today.
Well, if you look at their free agent and their draft acquisitions, they had definitely been planning on A.J. departing at some point this offseason. You noted the additions in free agency, Dontavian Wicks from Green Bay, who is kind of that A.J. Brown without actually being A.J. They signed another Brown, Hollywood Brown.
I forgot about their draft class, man.
I forgot about Hollywood Brown.
And they had a decent draft class, right? They added a bigger target in Eli Stowers. They added someone who can operate out of the slot with Jahan Dotson departing and Mekhi Lemon, and also spent their third-round pick on Markel Bell, who is like a project right tackle.
So, again, Philly's going to be fine, but they're not better this year without A.J. Now, this is kind of your theory, Lucas, about would you have Cam Ward if Mike Vrabel was still your coach, or would you have a number one overall pick at quarterback if Mike Vrabel was still your coach? Philadelphia has found ways to straddle competitive windows, right? Now, they may take an occasional dip. The Rams do this well, too, where the Rams' worst season with Sean McVay, I think, was 5 wins. And they did their version of bottoming out, which did not make them the worst team in the league, and still found ways to be aggressive in the way that they build their team to replenish their young talent. Maybe they're not competing for a Super Bowl every year within that window, but they're saying, okay, we're going to take our lumps in this year or maybe the next, and we'll cycle back up so that when we're ready to make this jump, then we can be the ones to start trading for Matt Stafford or Myles Garrett or whatever this may be. Not every team can do this the same way, but Philadelphia is one of those that you just you inherently trust them to get this right, I think, until such time as they prove otherwise. Like if Howie has been on this generational run and all of a sudden turns into late career John Robinson, like nobody would expect that, but it could happen, I guess.
Yeah, I doubt there's a lot of hand-wringing about moving on from A.J. Brown in Philly, right? Didn't it feel like that kind of has been coming to an end?
Well, I think Philly fans have been resigned to it since February. So when it happens in June, you just kind of shrug your shoulders and say, okay, but I wasn't even thinking about him as a part of our 2026 anyway.
They are still the favorite in the NFC East, plus 140 according to FanDuel. Dallas at plus 200 behind them.
Even though I do think this is a big departure for Philly, I would argue that this is the second biggest departure that they suffered this offseason after Jeff Stoutland, who was their offensive line coach and their run game coordinator, decided to leave after differences in opinion over how things should be run.
It's a weird situation, too. Like, he waited until very late in the process to announce his retirement.
Yeah, offensive coordinator change, too. Things are going to be interesting in Philly if they can continue to sustain with this era.
I don't bet the NFL, obviously, but if I was betting with your money, I would probably sprinkle some money on Washington in that division.
They're plus 420.
At those odds, for sure, because I think Philadelphia is due.
The one thing that scares me about Washington is they are not in an advantageous position personnel-wise on offense to dictate the pace. Like their wide receiver room is suspect. They've got a lot of guys who haven't either haven't shown to be the guys that can tote the load, or they are younger and aren't really expected to do it. They have a lot of growing and a lot of showing to do in Washington. I would be trepidatious about them, but it's a tough division to figure out.
Dallas more than that. That's what I'm saying. Like I'm gonna fade the Eagles this year, pretty comfortably. And I'm not saying they can't still be a wild card team, and I'm sure you wouldn't want to play them if they ended up as a wild card team. But I don't know. I feel like that division is due for some upheaval.
The reason I do believe in the Eagles, though, is because they have been faced with this brain drain situation more frequently than any team sans the Detroit Lions. Like every single year, it's a different coordinator, different defensive guy, different offensive guy.
Sure, but this isn't just brain drain, though. This is brain drain and talent drain, because you are taking, no matter what AJ is a better player than the players that you replaced him with.
Yeah.
Now, are you a more cohesive team without AJ? Maybe. I don't know the answer to that question. He's not answering it directly. He's just saying that he and Jalen Hurts have drifted apart. That's not something you want to hear from your starting wide receiver about your starting quarterback. So maybe there is a world in which they are a more cohesive team, if not a more talented team, but you still need that playmaker to make it happen in the critical moments. They have a few, but he was the best one of the three at any given point.
To me, last year felt like a situation that would have just continued to fester on into this year, right?
Oh, I'm not saying keep him. No,
yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. So that's my point about like Eagles fans. I doubt folks are calling into Philly sports radio today. What are we doing trading away A.J. Brown? Like you said, they've been resigned to this. It's been the worst kept secret in the NFL for months
until
now.
they lose to the Giants week 1. Or who's there? No, I think it's Giants Cowboys.
Do they play the Patriots?
Oh, Titans had that experience in 22.
Yeah, A.J. Brown revenge game.
That was unpleasant. For
they play them in the preseason.
Not the same.
Not the same. AJ says, give me like 5 snaps. No shot. Yeah, no, I wouldn't. I'm not arguing that it's not the correct move to trade AJ, but if the Eagles end up like a 9-8 team and are more in the hunt than they are in the driver's seat,
then Nick Sirianni's fired, right?
Right?
I mean, probably.
That's what I'm saying. And then are people going to look around and be like, oh, I wish we hadn't traded A.J. Brown? Like, this is Philadelphia is as fine a line as you can balance.
Sure.
Yeah, but if that job came open, that would being able to work with Howie, they've got 3 first-round picks in the next 2 years. If they want to move off Jalen Hurts, they have the ammo to move up in 2027. Like, if Philly opened up, I would argue there are a few jobs in the NFL that are better than that. Like, if they did want to move off Sirianni for whatever reason, you have the core and the general manager to attract any kind of head coaching talent.
Worth the toxicity. If you are a coach that believes in your abilities to utilize those resources and capitalize on a window.
You think Kevin Petullo thought it was worth it? Worth the toxicity when they found out where he lived? I'm sure that was not a pleasant experience.
Do you think Kevin Petullo would, if he could go back in time, not take that job?
I don't know. I have no idea how to answer that question. I'm just saying, before you definitively say worth the toxicity, you have to consider, like, people that you don't know on the internet are finding out where these people live.
I think Lucas is speaking from a place of knowledge. You know, like, he's okay working in a place of toxicity like this with you because of what it means for all of us.
I'm not toxic.
You're not neutral. You're not a base. I would say you would be more acidic than you would be anything else. You would be like lemon juice. Like Lucas and me are like
you can
milk.
eat lemon juice. You can consume lemon juice.
I'd much rather be lemon juice than milk.
No,
Yes, I do.
You want to be neutral. You'd want to be alkaline water. Like, that's lame.
I'm not a milk guy.
I'd rather. Oh, are you kidding me?
I'm not,
With all
dude.
the spaghetti you eat, milk and spaghetti is an elite pairing.
Ugh. Milk and lemon juice is a more elite pairing than milk and spaghetti.
No, when's the
I
last
used
time you
lemon
had?
juice in my spaghetti last night.
Was it freshly squeezed, or did you use the little plastic fake
No,
lemon?
of course it was freshly squeezed. I made a little shrimp scampi. You know, like,
Who is using are you talking about the little, like, lemon-shaped plastic containers?
He ain't squeezing. No,
of course
no
I am.
lemon.
You just
No,
buy a
you
bag
ain't.
of lemons.
No, you ain't. Yo, you gonna use all them lemons?
Nobody uses.
How you
all
like
those
these
lemons.
apples?
Well, yeah, they don't all get used. Eventually, a couple of them have to be thrown away. But it's nice. You squeeze some lemon in your water. It's
I'm
nice
not saying
for
it's
cooking.
not nice. I'm just doubting you. I think that you use a one of them plastic.
I think I
fake
have
lemons.
half a lemon in my fridge right now that I'll send you a picture of when I get home.
I don't agree with you on being a milk person. Like, I'm not anti-milk.
I've never been one of those people that can just grab the gallon out of the fridge and chug it.
Oh, that's me. That's me. Especially since Costco has the Fairlife milk dupe now.
Sure.
It's like the same macros as Fairlife for like half the price. And you get 3 half-gallon milks for
The same what? I'm sorry?
macros.
Are you counting macros?
I mean, that's the whole thing with Fairlife milk. Is like it's like crazy high in protein, and it like doesn't expire for a long time.
Well, it's lactose free.
Yes.
So it doesn't mess up your belly as bad.
Yes.
But God forbid. Oh, that's like being like if I said, "Oh yeah, you're 1 mile pace." Oh, you're concerned with 1 mile pace? You fat ass? Are you right? You're running?
Leave him alone.
You're worried about macros?
No, I didn't do anything.
He's macro maxing.
I am macro.
I know. I think
dude.
that's
I'm
the
just
problem.
fat
I
as
think
hell.
macro maxing.
I don't know what to do about it. I woke up in my sleep last night and ate a whole bag of mini peppers.
No.
At least that was healthy.
What kind of peppers?
Like the little
Like
sweet,
the sweet ones?
Yeah, it's the sweet ones.
Yeah, those are good. Little sweet. Those Dr. Pepper commercials kill me.
I haven't seen one in a while. What happened to that guy?
Oh, they got
He
rid
probably
of.
asked for too much money, and they sent him the way of the most interesting man in the world that's got another one.
No, you guys didn't see the woman. She wrote the jingle for Dr. Pepper, and they paid her $1 million for it. Dr. Pepper, baby, it's good and nice. You didn't see that? She got paid $1 million for that.
And nice.
Hold on. I got you. Don't go to break.
This is just
Don't
turning
go to
into a
break.
free Dr. Pepper ad.
Dr.
I
Pepper.
mean, that's fine. I could not just drink milk though. Like,
Wrong.
if I'm having like, I gotta have something that requires milk with it. Like, I've got to have a cookie.
Yeah, I'm with you. I could drink milk with pancakes.
Pancakes for sure.
And that's about it. Like, I'm not like I've never a milk at dinner guy.
That's like that's
so
something out of the
gross.
1930s.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
grandpa,
like a sirloin steak and a glass of milk
Very Americana childhood.
with a cigarette.
my grandpa, every night for dinner, would have a half of an onion, a glass of milk, and 2 pieces of cornbread.
That
Or
sounds
white bread.
like a character out of Holes. A glass of milk, a Vidalia onion.
I'm tired, Grandpa.
That's too dang bad. Here was the theme song that was written for Dr. Pepper that get this woman paid $1 million.
I have a theme song for Dr. Pepper, and it goes like this. Dr. Pepper, baby, is good and nice. Doo-doo-doo.
Damn, she made $1 million bucks on
I have a
that.
theme song.
That was it.
Oh.
What?
She got paid $1 million for that.
Dude, we're doing
That's why-
everything wrong.
Okay, every time I want to write a little dumb song, and y'all are like, don't write that dumb song. We don't need no dumb
But
song.
that's the thing. Yours would be way better and more creative than that. And she got $1 million bucks.
That's not what people want. People want what's the act? Kiss. Keep it simple, stupid. Like they just
Yeah.
want easy.
Oh, she was already like TikTok famous though.
No,
Seems.
I assume that this is what put her on.
I think this is why she's TikTok.
This is
famous.
why she's a TikToker.
Unbelievable. We have talked a lot about A.J. Brown getting traded. Myles Garrett obviously got traded yesterday. That happened during the show. There's a Jeffrey Simmons angle to that I want to talk about, and we'll get into that coming up next.
Dr. Pepper, baby, is good and nice.
So as Rams fans rejoice, Browns fans wallow. And though there were some incredible moments with Myles Garrett anchoring that defense, obviously the Cleveland Browns did not exactly take full advantage of having one of the greatest defensive players in the history of this game for nearly a decade. So, welcome back to the show. We're fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken. Be sure to download the app today.
Who is more guilty of wasting that caliber of a player than what the Browns just did with Myles Garrett? Like wasting the time. I mean, Joe Thomas, Browns.
Joe Thomas, yeah, Hall of Famer.
Browns.
Yeah.
Who else is on? Would it be Larry Fitzgerald? I mean, at least Larry got to a Super Bowl.
It would not be Larry Fitzgerald. They had success with Carson Palmer. They got to a Super Bowl. No, it would not be Larry Fitzgerald.
All right, stop talking about it. This is a poll. Stop doing it. We're doing this tomorrow. This is a 45 tomorrow.
Yeah.
Stop talking about this.
Okay.
That is a whole segment. Franchises that have wasted icons like that.
Because
long.
He might be the best defensive end we've ever seen.
He is the best defensive end any of the three of us have ever seen, and with our own eyes.
Yes.
Right? The best defensive player we've ever seen. Aaron Donald has a great argument.
Aaron Donald's there. J.J. Watt is there. Although TJ's kind of better than J.J. was.
He's in that neighborhood easily. Yeah. But
I think TJ's helped by actually being on a good team. Like if roles were reversed and TJ was on that Texans team and JJ was on this Steelers team, I think JJ would have had a bigger impact than TJ did.
JJ was on some bad teams.
He was on some good teams too.
Some like
the Matt
teams.
Schaub team. Like the Texans were never really that good.
No.
They had one good year with Bill O'Brien. They gave him way too much power.
They
lost in the playoffs.
They would get to the divisional round every year and just get smoked by the Patriots.
Maybe
or
Andre
like that.
Johnson is the most wasted talent player. God, why am I doing that? I just told you guys to shut up.
So, now the question for the Titans revolves around Jeffrey Simmons. Now, the Titans have had success with Jeffrey Simmons on the field. They've
Calvin Johnson.
Why are we still doing this?
Yeah,
I literally just got in your ear to tell you this, and you said it out loud.
It is Megatron.
It's Calvin Johnson.
Shout out to the FNM Bank chat for that one. I just got another great text with an even better one with the same organization.
Why don't we just
tomorrow.
No. Why don't we just do that now?
Yeah,
we could do this Jeff Simmons thing tomorrow if you want to. What do you want to do?
If we can get calls 615-737-1045. If you guys want to tell us who are the most wasted, talented players, what teams waste or what players wasted in a desert on their team, give us a call 615-737-1045.
Okay, so let's keep it Lions. Is
the person you're about to say that's the text I just got.
Matt Stafford?
Oh, no, Barry Sanders.
Okay. Why isn't Matt Stafford on that list?
Yeah, he could be on that list.
He's now an MVP, a Super Bowl champion.
But when we talk about Calvin Johnson never got to win anything of note. Barry Sanders never got to win anything of note. So it's Andre Johnson never got to win anything of note. So
that's
it's
what
easy
I'm
to look
saying.
at those
Stafford
players.
did not start to win things until he went somewhere else.
But I think that's why he's not top of mind with this conversation, because those guys were talking about retired without getting to win anything. Myles Garrett now has the opportunity to win something. And the Titans had Jeffrey Simmons on the field for an AFC championship game, right? For that one seed season. They've seen Jeffrey Simmons put on monster performances in the postseason. So it's not like Jeffrey Simmons has been playing in a wasteland of bad football his entire career.
No.
It has been the case for the last 3 to 4 years, we would say. 4-ish years since the back half of 2022 to now. So the question I would have, as somebody has called into the hotline, always curious as to who this could be.
You want to mystery vortex it?
I know who it is.
Should we then?
Okay. Hotline, you're up.
The Baltimore Ravens and Lamar Jackson.
Damn!
Take that, Bert.
Damn!
Thought we were friends.
We were having a nice time.
Did anybody get the license plate? That bus that just rode over me?
You know what? AFC North quarterback, so Joe Burrow in there too. It's still early, but I mean, do we really think he's going to go back? Nope.
The joy, the pleasure in your voice, and that nope.
That's all I wanted. That's all I wanted. When he brought up TJ, I was like, yeah, let's do this. We need hate in sports. I'm here for it.
Okay. Well, listen, you're not on a very hateful show to begin with. You just need to dip your toe in here every once in a while.
Every once in a while, just take me to the dark side. That's all I want.
It's good for you. So Burrow quickly though, Ramon. He made it to one. He made it to 1, which is more than, Stafford or Megatron or any of these other guys are talking about. Like, I get what you're saying, but he has been to 1.
I mean, but think about how battered and bruised he is since the 1.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously. He's like, they're doing, like, it's almost like hate crime towards Joe Burrow at this point. You got to at least give Cleveland, like, a little bit of help. They attempted with Deshaun. They also are attempting again, whoever the new head coach and quarterback is going to be of the future anyway. Like, what is Cincinnati doing at this point? Like, yeah, he got 1. That's fine. All right, whatever. We don't see it happening again, though. We don't again. That's all.
He said we. He said America.
Moan ran to a phone to do that.
I did. I'm sorry, guys, to derail your show, but that's a great topic, though. Great topic.
Always a pleasure. See, I told you we should just sit here for a while. Thank you for the call, Ramon. Ramon Foster, 6 to 10 a.m.
Yeah, he's okay.
I mean, the whole thing with Joe Burrow is, can they avoid him being the next, Dan Marino in that way, right? You get to 1 and then never get another opportunity, despite a Hall of Fame caliber career.
If it goes that way, then he will be on that list.
The number 1, I'm reading this Bleacher Report article.
From what year? Because it's always like Bleacher Report from like a
2012.
decade ago.
2010. The 25 greatest players on terrible teams. Number 1.
In 2010, this article?
Yes, but this is for
right.
Sports history.
Is it Barry Sanders?
No, number 1 is Babe Ruth in 1935.
Oh, okay. We're doing all sports.
Boston Braves.
God.
I'm really digging deep. Yeah,
who's the first NFL player on there?
I think Barry was like number
Sanders.
6. Yeah.
So obviously, I mean, Megatron has retired since then. Like, there's been a number of different players.
But, man, the Browns squandered Myles Garrett in a pretty spectacular way. Because he was spectacular the whole time.
The chat points out that you did not tell Ramon Foster that you loved him.
I didn't love him in that moment.
Not in that moment. Oh, A.J. Green. Great shout, Jeffrey.
A.J. Green. No, but they were good. Dalton was like an MVP candidate for a hot second.
They never won a playoff game with Marvin Lewis, though.
Never won.
Damn, A.J. Green didn't win a single playoff game with Carson Palmer all those years.
Constantly getting, well, it wasn't just Carson Palmer. It was Andy Dalton, like good Andy Dalton.
Red Rifle.
The best version of Andy Dalton. Because they had a year where it was A.J. Green, who's the guy that ended up playing for the Lions for a couple of years? Marvin Jones? Is that the name of the receiver?
Yep.
Marvin Jones was a quality player. I remember talking about him here a couple of times in free agency.
Definitely played for the Lions.
They had Jeremy Hill from LSU and Gio Bernard in the backfield. They had Andrew Whitworth on the offensive line. I think Zeitler was on that damn Bengals offensive line.
He was.
I don't know why I have such a great knowledge of the 2012 Cincinnati Bengals.
Because that's when you were a Ravens fan.
That's fair.
Would you consider Arian Foster on that list? I mean, he was on that stinky Texans team. He made them good when he was there, but they weren't
good. He was like a poor man's Adrian Peterson in Minnesota.
Yeah, he had a very specific window. I mean, it was a good 4 years or so where Arian Foster was elite.
John Hopper says Julio Jones.
They went to a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He led the league in receipt. Like, I guess that's not the question. It's not statistical. It's winning.
He didn't win.
I mean, I get what Ramon is saying about Joe Burrow because that's the danger area the Bengals are in now moving forward after that lightning in a bottle run to the Super Bowl. But in totality, I can't put it in a category next to Myles Garrett if that team was a game away from winning everything.
Myles Garrett has one playoff win in his career.
One, yeah, because the Browns have one.
Right.
Over the
Steelers.
Correct.
Mm-hmm. Bill says Peyton and the Colts. I mean, I guess if you're saying Peyton should have won like 3 Super Bowls as a Colts quarterback. CJ2K, Dixie says in the F&M Bank chat.
I was going to say Derek before he got saved, but.
Now, why are you taking out what Ramon did to you on these poor people?
I was talking about Derek Mason.
Uh-huh.
I guess it's the same thing. It's still
honestly, you could name like 7 different Titans players that went to play for Baltimore.
Andrew Luck, says Jeffrey.
No, but Luck won. Like, they won the division. They were winning the division regularly. He never lost a game to the Titans. He went his entire professional football career and never having lost to this team that he plays twice a year.
Yeah, I think we're casting the net too wide. I think it has to be a player. Again, a player of Myles Garrett's caliber is already narrowing it down enough.
I think A.J. Green fits better than Julio Jones does in what you're trying to do. Because A.J. Green wasn't Julio, but he was still an excellent. I mean, there was a period of time where you would talk about A.J. Green as a top 5 wide receiver in the NFL, right?
Oh, yeah.
For at least, I would say, maybe a 3-year period at minimum.
For sure.
He's just a cold-blooded dude. Like, he didn't talk. Like, how many people could recognize A.J. Green's voice or would recognize him on the street? Dude, just an assassin of a player. He fits that category better because, like, Julio and Larry Fitzgerald are in the same category here to me, where they did win. They did get to the ultimate game. They just weren't able to finish the job.
Oh, Mike Trout, if we're going to go all sports.
Well, yeah, but we're not doing all sports. We'll be here forever.
What about, see, this is the one that would actually require heavy lifting, and we probably need help from the audience. What is the inverse of this? Who is the worst player who got tons of accolades, but just because he was on a good team? He wasn't good. He played, but he wasn't good, because you could say this about third-string guys or whoever you want to.
No, I mean, I have the number one answer.
Trent Dilfer. Yes. Who else?
Correct.
Who else?
Oh, got some breaking local news.
Do you want to
like
beep boop beep boop beep boop?
I like for the Preds, or I don't have a Preds
breaking Preds news.
All right, breaking Preds news.
Breaking Preds news on 104.5 The Zone.
We don't have anything for the hockey team.
It is official. The Nashville Predators have announced Chris McFarland as the president of hockey operations and general manager. He was previously the GM of the Colorado Avalanche. We learned this morning that the Preds had been accessed an interview or granted access to an interview and stood to reason that because McFarland already was a sitting GM in the NHL, they would have to elevate what his role was in Colorado, and they have done that. They have made him president of hockey operations and GM, and it sounds like they are handing Chris McFarland the keys to the organization to come in and replace Barry Trotz, who is transitioning into an advisory role after announcing his intent to retire all the way back in February. The Avalanche, by the way, made it to the Western Conference Finals where they lost. They were swept by the Vegas Golden Knights. And the Preds have their man. He's only the third GM in Preds history.
Father of Seth MacFarlane.
No.
Okay.
Is Seth MacFarlane Canadian?
I don't know the answer to that question.
Father of Booger McFarland.
No.
Is that more believable?
It's definitely not.
Definitely
less believable.
Less believable.
Right,
so the Preds have done it. They've gone outside of the family, so to speak. Chris McFarland, 56 years old, from New York. And he is a 2022 Stanley Cup champion during his time with Colorado. And there you go. They've done the thing that Preds fans wanted them to do.
Okay. How many former Preds people are they just going to keep stashing in different offices and roles? David Poyle is still there. Now Barry Trotz is going to hang around after he's done his GM. Anyway, I guess that doesn't matter. So, as a hockey fan, as a Preds fan, is this what you wanted? Because we have talked a lot about they feel. I mean, it's really just the three pro teams here in Nashville to talk about between the soccer team, the football team, and the Preds. They are considered the most incestuous, for lack of a better term. Like, they just keep promoting people from within. This is why this hire is of such significance. Is this what you wanted as a Preds fan? 615-737-1045, the number. So now what does this mean for Andrew Burnett?
Yeah, that's the next question. It feels like Chris McFarland is getting carte blanche here for the Nashville Predators as the president of football of hockey operations. So the immediate question is what happens with Andrew Burnett, who is a part of that Preds family, so to speak, in that he was a player right there at the beginning of the franchise, scored the first goal in Preds history, all of those things while playing for Barry Trotz. But I feel like it's if anybody needs a fresh slate in this town, it's the Nashville Predators. Moving forward here. Titans did it.
Titans have had theirs.
Yeah. Titans are in the beginning. They're starting to write on the blank slate.
Hell, the Titans have had two since the Preds have had their last one.
Yeah, but it feels like it's way past time. It wouldn't make a lot of sense for me to keep Andrew Burnett around. I think he did a nice job in digging out of an awful hole at the start of the season, but no, on aggregate, the Andrew Burnett experience in Nashville was not a success, obviously.
And, Florida Panthers fans couldn't wait to see him go. And he was viewed favorably here at the onset of his career, but it never really worked. Do you think it hurt them that they went all in the way that they did and just cratered? Because I mean, all of us would have greenlit those free agency moves that Barry Trotz made, right? I mean, almost the same like Rain Carthon.
Yeah.
Like the parallels between the two of them are insane.
No, that
the last
offseason,
couple of
there
years.
was so much buzz, and it just face planted the following year. And to those guys' credit, like Steven Stamkos was Steven Stamkos this past year.
Yeah.
He was excellent. He was a 40-goal scorer. But no, it's Gentry Estes was in here of the Tennessean a couple months ago at this point and described it as kind of a last dance feel with that collection of Roman Josi and UC Saros and all these contracts that are just sort of hanging over the organization. I don't know how much maneuvering they can do to get out from under all of those, but this has to feel like a new era, right? A departure from what they have done as an organization. This feels like a pretty important pivot point for the Predators.
This is probably different depending on what your personal experience is. But I don't know that there's been a bigger 180 on any of these teams than the Preds. Maybe it's just because of the time that I got here. My first year in Nashville was 2015. So they were obviously on the come up. They got hot in the 2017 playoffs. They made the Stanley Cup run. That's one of the coolest sports experiences I've ever had in my life, that Stanley Cup run. Like, I associated the Nashville Predators with the thing that gave Nashville, no pun intended, but that had the most teeth in Nashville sports. Like, they were the thing that everybody wanted to be a part of. And it had some staying power after the Stanley Cup run, but it has gone from such a peak to such a deep valley over the course of that period of time. And I know that's 100 years ago, 2017, so that's maybe natural, but we have just had so little occasion to even talk about them. The fact that we don't even have a laser light show sound to talk about hockey news as one of the 3 pro teams in town.
This feels like a bit of a statement hire for the Preds. It's a big swing. Not to go after an up-and-coming assistant GM, not to go in-house and do the thing that the fan base was afraid they were going to do, but to go and get a sitting general manager that has been a part of building a Stanley Cup winning organization. He was an assistant GM when the Avalanche won that 2022 Stanley Cup and then took over as the GM that summer. So to go and get the GM of a team just in the Western Conference Finals and hand him the president of hockey operations role to ensure that you can bring him over to Nashville is a big swing by the organization and one that I feel like is going to have a pretty good response from fans.
Should we try to do a hockey interview? Should we talk to the new Preds GM whenever he gets a second? I feel like we should.
Yeah, when you get a second.
Yeah, just when you get settled, maybe get your apartment, your things figured out, your logistics, and you do a press conference, then you come talk to us.
Here is the statement from Barry Trotz, the outgoing GM. Quote, "I am pleased to welcome C-Mac to the Predators organization, and I pledge to help him fulfill his vision in any way that I can for the next year. Chris is a great competitor and one of the best in the business. I know he's going to do an excellent job leading our hockey operations group, and I look forward to assisting him moving forward." Cannot have a statement without a nickname in hockey.
I was just going to say, are hockey people allowed to refer to other hockey people without using a nickname?
No, it's not allowed. If you're a player, coach, or I guess front office person, you're simply not allowed. What would be our hockey nicknames? What would be Robert's?
Birdie.
Birdie.
They put a Y on everything.
Birdie's good.
You would be tough.
I don't know what they would do.
Cheeky.
Panchica. 615-737-1045, the number. Donnie is in Nashville.
Hi, guys. Listen about Barry Trotz. When the Predators first came here, as y'all know, he was our coach. He had a good team. We made it to the Stanley Cup playoffs because we got to pick the players from other teams. Other than that, Barry Trotz didn't do anything for this city or this team. We finally get rid of him. He goes to Washington. He wins the Stanley Cup. Why? Because he's got the best player in hockey, in Ovechkin. Other than that, he didn't do anything. and they bring him back, and he still hadn't done anything. The best thing Barry Trotz can do is leave by the end of the day and stay away from this team. And the dumbest thing he ever did was give Soros a 6-year extension. Soros can't get it done. It's just that simple. We got a great goalkeeper and backup goalkeeper. I forget where our team is, but he does a much better job than Soros did when they put him in for him this year. So I want Barry Trotz to go. Stay away from here. Don't send him Christmas cards. Nothing.
Man.
No Christmas card. Thank you for the call,
respectfully,
Donnie.
I
That's 60 seconds on the clock.
Completely disagree with all of that. First of all, the expansion draft was so different in the late 90s than it is now. And what you saw with the Golden Knights, instantly a contender, being able to essentially poach a starter from every team. That was not the case in 98 or whatever it was. Preds didn't make the playoffs the first 5 years as an organization and then built up into a team that was in the postseason, I think, the next 4-5 years in a row. And yes, it got stale in the Barry Trotz era, no question, and they moved on. But what he did to establish the Preds as an organization and educate Middle Tennessee on the game of hockey, it was a totally different job from any other NHL gig at the time. I do think merits more than what you're giving him credit for.
He's hockey Jeff Fisher.
Yeah. Yeah, there are similarities. Absolutely, there are parallels to Jeff Fisher's tenure. He didn't, reach the pinnacle like Fisher did and come that close.
Right.
Obviously, the Preds did that, with Peter Laviolette. But, nah, man, I get the frustration of his time as a GM, and absolutely, the criticism is there for the Soros deal and
the Soros thing is bad. I think I'm with him on the Soros thing.
Yeah, and, maybe not making the move on Andrew Burnett last year. You can have all of those criticisms, and it's even fine to, feel like it's not a great idea to keep him around as an advisor to McFarland. But no, man, I would not be the one denigrating what Barry Trotz did for the sport of hockey in this town.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Well, we have to go to break. I'm Buck Reising. It's 104.5 The Zone. Been a newsy couple of days. Preds have a new GM, reportedly. Bunch of NFL deals yesterday. If you missed any of the show, check it out. Nate Washington was really good in the 11 o'clock hour. We should have Nate in studio next week when he's in town. I know him and Keith Bullock are looking forward to that book. Well, I haven't talked to Keith about it, but I'm sure Keith is looking forward to that. I know Nate's really excited about it. And if we can get Nate in studio, I think that'd be a great time.
Where's the book signing at again?
It's in Franklin on Wednesday, June the 10th.
Heck yeah. Do we know the store?
I do. If you'll give me 3 seconds to pull it up on his Instagram page, I can tell you.
While you're looking that up, I cannot understate how excited I am.
For some reason, my Instagram was open to a page of a belly dancer.
Of a belly answer?
Belly dancer.
Oh.
Familiar with the
What is a
belly dancer?
What is a belly answer?
Belly answer.
I am tickled and pleased.
Belly answer is what you do.
Yes, belly answer. My belly will answer.
Vintage Vine 100, 4051 Aspen Grove Drive in Franklin. Wednesday, June the 10th, 6 to 8 p.m. The book signing with Nate Washington and Keith Bullock.
I'm tickled to go to Book of Mormon tonight.
Oh.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, I'm pumped.
Group outing. Good on you for getting the ticket.
Dinner and a show.
Yeah, there's 6 of us?
8 people are going.
8 of us. 8 of us going to dinner and Book of Mormon. Delightful.
What does one wear to a theater?
I'm wearing slacks and a button-up.
I was going to dress like Abe Lincoln.
I wasn't. I wasn't aware that.
Do I get to shoot you?
I didn't even think about it.
You are not my John Wilkes.
Do we have to dress nice?
I'm going to wear a polo just because I feel like if you're in a theater, you need to be somewhat respectful.
I guess.
Do any of you guys have any of those fancy binoculars
I know
that
that's
people
a pain
wear?
for you because you don't have slacks that fit your ass, but...
Yeah, I'm a shorts guy, man. If I could wear shorts every day of my life forever.
Yeah, because they're not restrictive around your
so nice.
tiny
You
little
can
baby
wear
legs.
shorts tonight. You can wear shorts to the theater.
I'm going to wear shorts.
It's probably going to be chilly in there, though. You might want to bring a little lap blanket.
Do not bring a lap blanket to Book of Mormon.
If I tell Cheyenne that you're bringing one, Cheyenne will bring 3.
Is Cheyenne coming?
Yeah, yes. Everyone, significant other is coming.
Excellent.
Heck yeah.
So, have either of you seen Book of Mormon?
No.
I have only seen the South Park iteration of Mormons. That is, honestly, my entire knowledge of Mormonicity.
Mormonism.
Mormonosity?
I just know.
I think Jackson Dart just gave the whole world a show here recently.
Trey Parker and Matt Stone are doing it. I'm in.
My only knowledge of Book of Mormon is that my mom and my aunt and maybe a cousin took my grandmother, who is one of these 6 a.m. every morning Catholics. She goes to Mass every morning. She did not like Book of Mormon. So
just a little crass.
Yeah, she also didn't like what was it was a series of books and Tom Hanks did the movies, Angels and Demons. Did you guys ever see that or read that one?
I did.
Oh yeah, I read it.
You probably would have because it's very much around Rome. Italian
I
history.
loved all those books.
The books were great.
What's the author's name? Damn,
Michael
Dan
something. Dan something. Never mind. Anyway, my grandmother wanted me to literally burn the Angels and Demons book.
Dan Brown. Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah,
she's get rid of this.
She's one of those.
Heresy.
Yeah, it's a little bit.
Oh, what are you watching? This is the CW. I love this channel. Oh, it's Lucifer, Grandma.
Oh, those movies.
So she didn't appreciate the Book of Mormon, apparently.
Those movies were not. They were fine. The Angels and Demons and Da Vinci Code.
I mean, the books
were
awesome.
insane. And the third book was incredible, and they didn't make a movie about that one for some reason.
I don't know that I made it to the third book. Maybe. It's been a long time. Anyway, Book of Mormon. Looking forward to it. I've never been to TPAC. First time at TPAC.
Ooh, I wish we had a Book of Mormon poll open. Would that be offensive? Would we be allowed to do that?
We'll see. We'll find out tonight.
We certainly will. Had we done the polls would have been presented by Two Rivers. Well, I did the polls, actually, so you can go check out the polls if you want to. No.
I wanted to pick one that was less offensive.
We don't have time.
We have enough time. Did you do my poll?
I did not do your polls.
Well, then this is useless then.
What was your poll question?
Is egg overrated?
Are you talking about like egg from the new Game of Thrones spinoff, or are you talking about like eggs?
No, like eggs, like breakfast food eggs.
No, Lily made egg bites with some kale and some mushrooms in them today. I had them with a little hot sauce. Delightful.
That's not what I'm talking about.
That's on you. See you tomorrow.
You know how I love Hattie B's hot chicken? Because I had to eat a Shut the Cluck Up chicken tender right here on the air yesterday after losing a bet to Robert Walsh. And I still, even going through the pain of eating that incredibly hot chicken later in the day, was thinking about how good that chicken tender was. Now, the good news for you is you don't have to walk into a Hattie B's and order the Shut the Cluck Up. Although, if you do participate in the Shut the Cluck Up challenge, a portion of your proceeds will go towards the Busy Head Project, an awesome charity that is devoted towards mental health causes. But Hattie B's has something for everyone. Hot or not, whatever works for you. The Southern salad with those cornbread croutons. And you know I love me some of those scratch-made sides. The pimento mac and cheese, always something to be thinking about. Download the app today. Start to stack up those awards. Order for pickup or delivery at any one of Hattie B's Middle Tennessee locations and get your Hattie